hours left before we head into the weekend, shaping up to be a pretty good day. We are ending the day on a positive note, right back to session highs. In fact, as we speak, that is how the board is looking right now, 1.21 for the S&P 500 currently with 2 hours to go. Still lots of time, obviously. This group right here, jumping off the page, that's the communication services group within the S&P 500. Yeah, Netflix, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, coming up here. 7% kind of a day for Netflix, back to the upside, although hasn't been terribly exciting since an initial move this morning, kind of sideways, in fact, for Netflix. Goog and Google, both take your pick, 4.4, 4.5% to the upside. This is the financial group. Top left, typically the lead is in the top left on this board anyways. SIVB was an earnings name, 13%, dragging the rest of the banks along with it. There are a few in negative territory, including Goldman Sachs, 2.6% on a negative note this morning. So downside for GS. Everything else, though, looking pretty good. In the tech group, everything looking pretty good as well. There are a few negative in the hardware group and semiconductors, but there's NVIDIA, 4.7%. Back to the upside. ON Semiconductor, 2.3% back to the upside. LRCX, QCOM, Micron here as well, all solidly higher on the day. Material stocks and energy stocks, both in positive territory. That is how the overall lay of the land is looking as we head into the final couple hours before Friday afternoon comes to a close. 1.2 for the S&P 500, 0.43 for the Dow, the NASDAQ. 2% kind of a day. 0.43 for the Dow, still lagging. As we mentioned this morning, it did go negative on the year yesterday. So we'll see where this ends up and see if we can't get back to positive territory on the year. These kind of struggling with the weekly performance as well. I'll update you on that as soon as we get to the end of the session. Hope your afternoon's going well. Let's get into a little bit of a look backward at what we were talking about if you were with us in the pre-market this morning. So many things to look at. Netflix, obviously, top of the list with earnings coming through. Turns out to be not that easy of a trade. We get the gap to the upside, and then it's just kind of back and forth throughout the day so far. We are holding higher, obviously, for Netflix, which is positive, but not much in the way of price action to deal with. Hey, that's okay, because there's all kinds of little ones doing all kinds of crazy things once again. This afternoon. We'll talk about a few of those. Neil, however, is here to lead us off this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Yes, your trade of the day, as always, brought to you by Day Trade the World. Check out that QR code below. Sometimes your trade of the day is going to be the best trade. This isn't my best trade today. I'm not going to lie. It's not my worst trade. However, it is the trade where the setup matters, and then once a key level was hit, you wanted to engage the stock. And Meta has been on a bit of a tear. I usually use a 15. This is a 60-minute chart because I kind of wanted to make it look cooler, how strong this had been the last little bit here. However, when you made this last run, we had just finished making a top at 138. You go back to last week, little 138-ish top here, and then you were just testing that level for the final week. You had one big dip and then a scream right back into that level of rejection. So you knew you were approaching something pretty big if we could get back there again. However, if I'm waiting to trade around that 138 level and this happens, it requires a lot of patience. Now, I'm not going to talk about 134 dip buy because I didn't get it, so it doesn't really matter. And when you do dip buys, you can have a price in mind. If the market doesn't take it down there, sometimes you don't get picked up. So there was that massive flush at the open, and then for the rest of the day, I'm biding my time for that key price area. Lots of things to trade in the market, so you can be patient and wait for it to get to that price. When it broke 138, okay, I'm just sort of thinking clean break. Let's do that old scalp trade off the top there. Take a couple of legs out. Okay, the scalp is working. No, can't seem to hold the last consolidation. Get a couple of legs here, 1-to-1, and then we end up losing. So you're up a small bit here because you've maintained your risk parameters. At this point, I'm thinking we've just rejected the 138 level, given we flush back through VWAP, and now I want to short off of that same resistance. And wick tops, one time, looked like it was pretty strong. There's your rejection, takes a double top, and then from there, it's pretty easy going. There is your established range. You're shorting, scalp in between, take your 50 to 60 cents and run, hold out for some for the bottom of the range, reload, kind of do exactly the same thing. However, this is where you got to think about the reversal. At some point, you got to go back to the original thesis. Yes, the range has been wanting to short up that top when you thought it was a rejection. However, what we like about breakouts and what we like about this type of a setup is the stock is going to somewhere that it has not been in a while. And a lot of times you get a little bit less overhead resistance. You think about the fact that it's a Friday as well. Maybe we could see 140 on a day like today. So when you're now really clearing this out, you got to think about working the longs when it's taking that breakout in the afternoon. So we get the breakout in the afternoon. Obviously, we had Fed Waller speaking that didn't hurt things either. So we take the break. We end up reloading a little bit at the 60s, get some out as it tries to press 39. As a matter of fact, I'm still working some bids, trying to catch bids and dips as we speak. If it takes out about this 35, I'll just get out of Dodge, not wanting to sit around until we get all the way down to VWAP. The key thing here is wait until a stock gets to a key price. Now, I'm not showing you what could have been the trade of the day, which is me taking a hit on Macy's, where I liked the 23 level and was taking the trade before it got to 23. Now, ultimately, it was the right level. I don't mind losing when I get stopped out at 23. The question is, do I have a 95 short? Do I have an 80 short? And so you wait till it comes to the key price level. This is where you get high probability and easy to form trades. Hopefully we get the breakout. We'll see what happens because it's live right now. But this is your trade today. It's Meta. And as always, brought to you by Day Trade the World. Start your journey the right way in day trading. Offices across the globe.
Big week coming up next week. We'll get into the full swing of things as far as tech earnings are concerned. Microsoft coming through, Tesla coming through. Got to wait a couple of weeks then for Meta, for Apple, for Amazon to come through with earnings as well. But hey, it's everyone's favorite time of year. That's a link to the watch list, guys. If you haven't done so, make sure you're grabbing that every single day. It's super easy. Hit the link or just use that QR code, enter your email address. And that's all you have to do. And then it just comes for free every day. This was the note pre-market for, I wanted to start with Amazon here. This was the note pre-market for Amazon AWS to invest $35 billion into a new facility in Virginia. I just saw another note that said they're going to set up and start to operate a dedicated delivery fleet in India as well. So Amazon 2.8% back to day highs. I haven't really done anything with that. It's fine though, don't worry about it. I just wanted to mention Amazon. It's fine. Back to day highs, showing a little more relative strength, guys, than some of the other big tech names. Netflix, you see top of the list there, has, as we saw, been a bit of a grind so far today. If you missed the initial dip and then moved to day highs, wasn't much to do here, guys, with Netflix off of this report.
And you don't do anything.
If you don't know,
Yeah.
now you know. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. Welcome to the midday show, or the midday show, the afternoon show. It's kind of midday right now, but yeah, this is
it's
the close.
not. Come on.
Is it not? Is 2 o'clock not midday? I don't know what midday is anymore.
Actually, it probably is, technically.
Yeah, but this is not the midday show. My bad. Welcome to the closing show here as we get ready for Power Hour, and thank you for tuning in one more time. We said we'd be back, so guess who's back? It's us. We're back, and we're excited, man. You can see the trades I have on board, man. I shorted Alibaba again. We just got some out in the 50s, so we seek some revenge on that name, and then we're also long on Apple, which has been great trade on that one as well. But Netflix today for me, honestly, it was the only trade I lost on yesterday. So today, it takes a nap for me and doesn't do anything. Netflix, I have a feeling like this is typical of Netflix earnings. Come on, Alibaba, get to the downside right now. Where, you have those crazy moves that we saw yesterday, obviously, in the aftermarket, and then in the pre-market today a little bit as well. Bouncing up to this 339 area, dropping back down to 334, then ripping up to 344. And then now, kind of just hovering around. If you see the afternoon, you still get the same highs of 339 flat, and then these bottom levels here of 335, 336. So you're still in between the range here. I think Netflix is a buy, moving forward. I think a lot of us would probably disagree with that, but I don't mind this whole switch that they made there and the subs and everything like that. I actually thought Netflix would sell off today. I didn't think their report was that interesting to me, but you have the Reed Hastings note. I thought maybe that would influence sort of how people looked at this report and sort of saw that there could have been some negativity there. But again, he's just stepping down as co-CEO, still going to be a chairman, still going to have a lot of influence there. The problem is going to be for Netflix, when he takes the Disney job. That's going to be the problem. So I don't know if you heard it from me first or if you heard it somewhere else, but I think Bob Iger eventually goes, or Bob Iger, Reed Hastings eventually replaces Bob Iger, goes over there to Disney on a package that he can't refuse, and then maybe that's what something happens with Netflix. But for right now, good name. You know, the daily chart on Netflix kind of told the story. It was straight up. You're bouncing off the 50 period, which is now $300. Next area of concern, right before when we dipped down the last time it missed, it almost has covered back everything right now, right? So it almost made it all the way back to these disastrous levels when we came in that one day and Netflix was down like 60% or whatever it was on that one earning. So this level's right here. It's 340. It's bouncing its head. If we can stay up here for Netflix, then yes, I do think that we could test 380, maybe 400. Now, I know that's cloud in this, you know, head in the clouds type of analysis, but if it can hold above this 338, 340 area, then yeah, why can't Netflix continue to go higher? So good name today, no trades for me. And honestly, the way we got sort of beat up on it yesterday, we probably stay away. I don't mind a 339 break right here. That's been the high, you know, since the morning. So that could be a trade. I don't know. I know you haven't been in it yet, but I don't know if you have any other opinions there.
Yeah, you know what? Here's what I'll say. If something doesn't set up, then you don't have to trade it. That's the best thing. And look, I like 332. You sort of pick these areas that you kind of like. It was 330 to 333 was really the channel that I like, and it's a wide one, $3. I thought maybe it would break the low. It looked like it was about to break the bottom, like get into that range where you had previous resistance and then find a bid down in there between 30 and 33. I was sort of thinking that 32 area and then ride it to the high. Well, it never set up that way. Like I wanted it to be trapping shorts, breaking the low, get a little deeper down in there and then take the long. That really didn't give me that clean setup, so I'm not trading it. And I did trade Disney because like I told you guys, I like that 101. We take a shot at it. I shorted in front of 100. There's a tight stop there. I shorted in front of 101. It looked good at first, and then it eventually took out the top. I did not reverse because I didn't believe in the long on Disney, and Disney's now up 3%. So Disney ends up being the one that moves, right? So it's working pretty nicely. I think there's probably going to be, a trade coming up in Disney. Well, it's right here at like 102.5, and it's got some room to continue going. So I kind of believe that there should be a dip that I can get into this Disney long. Being late to the party, it's okay if you're well dressed, and that just means if you're with the trend, and the trend is your friend with Disney. I'm looking for a dip probably into that 102. It's cleared out, and doing what I was just talking about with Meta, where you clear out a level, and there's plenty of room when you go to the higher time frame. So if we rally into the close, I want to look for some dip buys in Disney. I probably don't trade Netflix.
All right, let's talk about Tesla. Just noticing this one as well, guys. LYT halted downside and just resumed to basically nothing, just kind of chopping around here. But this one halted on the way up, starting to halt as it unwinds as well. Still 90%, but on the way back down now for LYT. There was that note this morning we were discussing on Tesla regarding the simple fact that with these price cuts in North America specifically, they've now put more pressure on competitors, more pressure on Rivian, more pressure on Lucid specifically. I showed you that chart. I'll see if I can find it again, but crazy chart showing the market share of sales from Rivian and Lucid versus Tesla, and it's just not even comparable, as everyone already knows, but visually it's crazy. And then today we get this kind of choppy action as well, guys, back to the upside, but more positivity coming from analysts in relation to not only the price cuts in North America, but the ones in China as well.
Sorry, we got Mark doing some work up on the, what do we call this thing again? It's the
rack.
The rack that holds all these lights. So
we had that
the
question.
lighting rig. So,
the rig. Yeah, remember yesterday I was like, what is the word for that? And then these guys were like, rack, and I was like, yeah, rack, but no, it's the rig. The rig is better there.
He's always doing work, but
more
it's like
lights.
But the problem is I looked up and I looked into the lights. Is you never want to look into these lights because then for a couple of seconds, at least for myself, for a couple of seconds I'm in trouble.
You cannot. Yeah, I don't even want to look up there.
No, I can't.
I'm just going to trust that Mark's up there right now.
I had paper hands on Tesla today. On that 130 break. So I took the scalp trade. I'm like, let's go. It's going to go to 130. It's going to go to like 133, 34. So we'll scalp it, then hold on to the moon. I'll slap a break-even stop, and then I won't have to do anything else. Break-even stop, went 50 cents, didn't jump back over to it. In my defense, I was kind of focused on a few other names at that time, but that's not a defense at all. Now it's supporting 130 and continuing its breakout. I don't want to top pick on Tesla. Not here. I almost want to look for another dip buy if I can get it. But before we move on, because we're not talking about Meta, We were just talking about Meta sort of buying that dip off the breakout price. Bought dip, back toward the high of the day. Why do I have 2 orders there? So if it gets through 139, I want to hold through that level. I'm just kind of working the breakout price of Meta. So we're short at this level before. Our longs originally stopped out at that level, and then we're going long in front of the same area. So I'm just kind of keeping it in this plan. Once we get through 139, I'm thinking 140 could be our terminus point. But Tesla, there's enough moving here today that I don't think we have to force the trade in Tesla in the afternoon. I'm in Roblox, but that was a clean 35 break. We get to that later.
Yeah, let's not. We have Alibaba on there. No, we don't. Okay, I'm just going to skip Tesla. I don't have any Tesla trades. You guys know that we like Tesla here. We'll trade it when it happens, but we don't trade it enough, I think, that's for sure. So, you traded it, and like Neil said, I said this every day. There's just so many stocks to look at, especially when the market's up 2.25%. That I told you there was going to be no free fall Friday today. Anyways, the Nasdaq's been pretty strong. There was close this morning on some of those numbers that got released there. But look at Alibaba. I just want to talk about this real quick because we've been getting out there. So here's Alibaba, huge move. We tried it right there. Do you guys remember that in the morning show if you were with us? There's the try of 20 break. Did not work. We got some out, licking our wounds there. One at 20, then one at 889 there. Then it dropped down, and this is where we started to make a little bit of this. Get rid of that. Slap a fail on it. And then down to the downside there, bought it back. Out. Again. Out. So out once it broke this VWAP right here, which was 1940, out of it. But then, Neil, it just came back here in the afternoon show, and we talked about, you have it too, right? Yeah, we both have it. So this came back, and we were there sitting here right with the professor and with Luca, and I was like, guys, Alibaba is up to 120 again. And guess where it went down to there, Professor? Nice. It went down to 119.60. So that was a decent trade. We got some out. The majority, we're still in it. We're still in 60% of it. Hopefully it falls down. But this little level right here, I don't know, man. It doesn't want to get below 70. Like, it did crack below there, went to the 200 period. So although I like this trade, I like the long. I mean, we're long 50 cents in the money on Apple, but I really like this trade. It's just watch out. I do have some more bids here in the mid 70s to get some out. If we're lucky enough for this to get down to 63 again, that might be a buy. So let's be careful here with Alibaba, and let's go back over to the big board with Brendo.
Retail action today for you. We were discussing this move by Nordstrom's this morning in the pre-market, cutting both their profit and revenue forecast or sales forecast for the entire year to the downside, following a similar move from Macy's that happened going back a few weeks prior. So this happened after the market. This is Macy's. This happened after market yesterday. Both, however, guys, not only green on the day, but pretty impressive to the upside here. That's Macy's. There's JWN. Same story. Right back to the upside.
I'm slapping the fail on this one.
That was like perfectly timed. That was a good one. Nicely done.
I can do this one too. I got that one.
Yep.
I got this one. Oh, wait. Can I do back to back?
Sure.
And then the last one.
If you hit.
So actually,
I don't know if it was a trap, though.
Okay.
I agree with all those other ones.
I just wanted to hit that.
Well, you might have been trapped by JWN. I'll let you go on. You might be
so,
right.
Nordstrom's was the story. So I guess I should start by showing you guys Nordstrom. Nordstrom's was the story. And they have like 40-something, whatever % short interest. I'm like, yeah, I probably don't want to short that one. That was probably a good decision because look what happened to Nordstrom's at the open. Shot up, kind of continued to break out. Now it's doing nothing. But the last couple of days, been looking at that Macy's at 23. And I'll zoom out so you can see why I like 23. Kind of obvious. Last couple of days, 23, breakout at 23, support 23. Then yesterday, double top at 23. So what level do you go short in front of? 23. However, that's me getting short at 65. That's me getting short at 80. The only decent thing I did was, okay, well, now I have, if I get a full position, I literally have to wait till it gets to like 97 so that I can get myself an 80 price and be risking 25 cents to 03 to 05s. However, if you're only short up at like 90s or 95s, which I was saying up in the trade of the day, then suddenly when it pulls back to this 80, like you see this range when it rolled over in the aftermarket and kind of in the pre-market as well, like it's about 75 to 80. Well, if it gets to that top and starts giving you the short scalp trade, it's into this level. But if you have an 80 short, which is what I had, these are break even, and then all my bids are down below. So there's almost no way for you to be profitable unless it goes perfectly. However, if you wait till you get it at 23, you can get scalp trades in there, you can rinse and repeat, get a few scalp trades, and then if it breaks out the top, you're actually still up on the day. Right, and that's the key. Like you don't have to be perfectly right if you play it off the level correctly. I did not, so I'm down. And then what happens? It fails to break. Then I short 23 on the way back in, and now it's suddenly working. The more patient play. I'm not going to go green on the stock today because I stunk on it, quite frankly. Thankfully, there's been enough out there that we can kind of sink our teeth into. But you got to learn from those mistakes. And they're always the same types of mistakes, right? Getting in too early. Getting that FOMO, like, oh my goodness, I want to short it in front of this level. If it turns here, I'm going to feel like a sucker. Just start getting in now. We've all done it. You're going to continue to do it. The question is, how much can you limit how many of the mistakes you're going to make? It will never be zero, but it can be as close to zero as possible. So, that's one for me in here today. I'm kind of sitting in this still short. I do have half of it out. If it rolls over from here, fantastic. We'll get a little bit of it back. But I want to take you over to what just broke 139 because I want to go from something sad to something happy. Meta just broke through 139, so we're going to continue to hang on to this. I'm probably going to get something out in the, quarter range, or maybe I'll just offer 32s because I love that number. And then we'll see if it has a chance to get to those 50s and then that 140 level. I still want to try to play these longs, even some dip buys. The NASDAQ's at 2%, and the ES 1.2. I mean, we're screaming to the upside on a Friday here, so let's see how far these can go. But, yeah, I mean, nothing good to say about Nordstrom's and Macy's, except for it was a great learning experience.
Learning experience. An expensive one for me as well today, as we wind up losing on that trade as well. But I just want to quickly go over something because you just talked about Meta absolutely ripping. I mean, look at this Meta trade right here that we had earlier today. 137, 136. We bought the 200 period. And remember what I said's really changed myself and my trading abilities recently is the fact that I'm trying to be patient, right? So we let Meta do its damn thing to the downside here. First of all, it broke 137.50. We took that on the 137 break, but then it came back and we let it dance. Out. But now look, the story of a missed trade again. In, out at the top here, 138. Just went long again right there and then got out once it broke back down below the 50 period, only to see Meta elevating itself right now. I don't know, I know we're talking about retail. I want to give a big shout out to George from Volkswagen, Martin Grove Volkswagen, as you've seen those Golf Rs? I really like those Golf Rs. And I'm going to talk to Rainey about it right now as well. The guy's trying to get me into that, so we'll see if we can get into that
nice,
later. Yeah,
we almost got an Atlas, but then...
You almost got an Atlas? I have a hookup.
We ended up getting the Jeep, but then we were looking at the Atlas, and it was like we're down to like 2 or 3, and the Atlas, it's gorgeous.
Oh, well, we have the Atlas. We have the all-black Rick Ross model. Right there, you got to represent Miami, MIA, in the house right now.
But you're not going to find any other trading shows that'll drop Rick Ross references. That's for damn sure.
I don't know where the playmaker is right now.
Rick Ross.
I was going to show you. I actually posted it up there. Actually, I'll find it afterwards. Okay, so and just quickly, man, look at Apple. Let's go that trade. Awesome. We'll drop in some money right here. I need to make more of this. I'm going to afford this. I didn't realize how expensive those cars are. Nice little move to the upside right now. They're not making any more Golf Rs till 2024, my guy tells me. That's crazy. 137 right now for Apple. We took that day high break right there. The minute I saw the market blasting, it was like, nah, forget it. Look, short. We paid ourselves off on the short, and then eventually it broke through 136. And then I was like, okay, we'll wait on this. Then it takes out that high of 136. Look, what high am I talking about? It's kind of this pre-market high and into 7 right here. It was literally 136.30. I mentioned it, boomed it to the upside, and that's going to be Apple right now. But I know we got to talk about Google next. For me, Google was my one trade of the day, and we'll talk about that when we get back.
There was a note, guys, on GM that just popped up there. LG Energy and GM do not plan to move forward with a fourth joint venture U.S. battery plant. So just saw GM there on some volume back to the downside, but not a huge deal if anyone was trading GM, though. Good luck. 4.7% back to the upside. Meanwhile, for Google, joining Microsoft, Amazon from earlier in the week with layoffs announced this morning, 12,000 to be about 6% of the overall workforce. So to be expected, but positive anyways for Google today.
You say expected?
Yes, sir. Expected to be expected. Yeah, Google right now laying off more. I mean, look, we talked about it, was Meta, Google, the only big one not yet. Microsoft also, CRM with layoffs more. It sucks. I hate the talk about that sucks. But you know what? Hey, it's a part of the business, and that's just what's going on. It is, and again, we do the trade of the day. Neil, myself, and Brendan, we're actually just talking about this. It's better. So we do the trade of the day based on like YouTube algorithm and like what stocks might hit on YouTube, but they all get the same views anyways. So we're going to try to do something that's more, lesson based, right? And I just feel like for right now, for today, well, I got to close my direct messages here on Twitter. So this is what we're talking about right here. Google, it's the #1 name on the sticky note right now. It's a long. And look, we saw, infamous Gus came in the building yesterday, and we were talking about that chat GPT, talking about taking over the world, yada, 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 things like that. And then I was just like, you know what? I know Microsoft's in it and Google ain't. But if you don't think that Google has some sort of AI in their back pocket right now, I mean, you wait till they announce that and put it in for free into the Google. I mean, I actually think it's negative for Microsoft, to be honest with you, because Microsoft's gonna want to charge for it, and maybe they don't. Maybe they put it into Bing, which I think they should do, and I think that Google will put it into Chrome, which is what 95% of search of browsers right now. So I like Google moving forward. I think AI talk is great for them. I think the job cuts, unfortunately, that's bad. Let's buy any dips to 95, or we'll take a pre-market high break. I mean, we basically listed this out to you, and thanks again, Lan. Over 8,000 views on the sticky note alone. Like right there, that's pretty happy and pretty proud of that. And thank you so much for everybody for checking out the sticky note. But look, what did I write down? Buy dips into 95. Here's a dip. Here's 95. Here's me buying it. Right? So there it is right there. You know where it goes to? 98. Within 40 minutes, it goes right up to 98. Unfortunately, we have paper hands. And I mean, that's the kind of hands we have. Shout out to my guy, Tony. That was the best story of all time when he went to the doctor and was diagnosed with paper hands. That was the minute he said a story. I can't even do it justice. He went on and on. He said a story about, I haven't been feeling that well. I went over to the doctors and blah, blah, blah. And I was diagnosed with paper hands. When he said that, I couldn't, honestly, that guy. He
had everybody dying. Everybody on the floor was dying.
That was an amazing story. But okay, anyways, I can only hope to give you guys good stories like my guy over there. But there it is right there. There's the 95 break. We took that out immediately within the very next minute, as if, that mattered. Right up to the upside right there, 95.40, we're out. That's 40 cents. Then it goes up to 75, out. Out here, these are view up levels. We're still not out. We still have shares. And I'm like, oh, pre-market high? Yeah, that's right. Right into here. I wanted to go long anyways into here. So then there's the push long here again. More shares. Let's go. Let's barbecue this stock up, man. We're getting more shares. Then we're going there. And then we're like, oh yeah, remember when we talked about 96 going long? Well, there's another one. You can barely see it. There's another green tick in there because it's all covered up. And then boom to the upside. And needless to say, there's my best out, 97.50. And then Google, the writings on the wall. After that, it's kind of done nothing all afternoon. Let's just see what's going on. Really glad that we switched our focus over to Apple. But Google today, man, my #1 net stock easily today is Google. It was such a great trade in the morning that just happy it went upside. Now, imagine how many shares and the kind of damage, hopefully, we can do to this market the day when I come in and I hear Apple's laying people off. Unfortunately, it's going to happen at some point, I would think, and it's going to rocket the stock. So let's wait to see what happens here. Of course, I'm sounding very, very bullish right now. I said that the tech earnings are what's next. Like, they've been beat down. I feel like there's some sandbagging here. Whenever you get so many people on one side of something, it generally tends to fade the other way. So for me, I think you do have a good opportunity to get some good reports coming out in the next couple weeks. Netflix kicked it off. So far we're one for one, I guess, on positive reports. But hey, we're just talking big cap tech here. I have no idea what some of these other names will do, but I'm talking Google, Microsoft, Apple, and then the chip names though.
They've been in a different story.
I'm not sure if they're going to be leading the way.
It's worth keeping in mind, like big tech, like the market. The market's been in like. Look at a lot of other stocks out there. They've been in like huge rally mode for the last few months. If you really look at that perspective, it's just like Apple hadn't been, and Alphabet hadn't been, and Amazon. Like they're starting to pick up now, but really they had sat out a lot of that big move. I didn't trade Alphabet because I liked the deeper dip buy. Didn't have any levels to work off of. I was actually looking for 94 and never got into that trade, but I stayed away from it. I just want to update two things. One, I did get that break up. It got to 139.31, and I know I said I'd be at 32 because I like that number, but I mean, come on. Like it got to 30, and kind of just a seller kind of showed up there. So I'm like, I'll just take out at like 29s. So that's the next out. It's like 3 cents away from target anyways. I'm going to look for a dip buy in Meta, but I'm just going to point this out because somebody said GME was moving. And I'm not saying there's going to be a trade in GameStop, but it is Friday and it is close to 20 bucks. So you do see this kind of thing. And I haven't looked at any open interest or anything like that. However, I do know 20 is a pretty significant level. The volume is not very good here. That's the one maybe concern. Like, it's starting to pick up, but I just want, you guys can see, right? Like, you're making this move into 20 on by far the lowest volume that you've seen in the last at least week here, probably even more than that if I go back any further. So that's not necessarily the greatest sign for a continuation when you're looking at this. I'm not saying it doesn't continue, but you could, I mean, the volume's kind of telling you at least a little bit of that story. So I'd be at least a little bit cautious about the long going into GameStop here. I just wanted to point that one out.
Big tech, get set, because Tuesday next week after the close we get Microsoft. The very next day, Wednesday, we get Tesla. So it's going to be a big week. Speaking of the week ahead, shameless plug, the week ahead coming up this Sunday, guys, has everything you need to know on. Being worked on right now, in fact, by one Fahad over in the corner. So watch out for that coming up on Sunday. Going to talk a little bit about Microsoft and Tesla and what's to come on the earnings front next week. Here is Microsoft and Tesla, guys. 3% coming off, as we said, layoffs earlier in the week. Thoughts on these two, I guess, going into earnings coming up next week?
That looks so good.
Yes, sir, Fahad.
So on cue, like the second Brendan's like,
Fahad's working on something.
Dude pulls out a Tim Hortons bag and
Get
just
over here. You love the camera.
Let's just show the sandwich,
Get
man.
over here.
Working on this is what he's working on right now. That's what Fahad's actually working on.
I mean, this is.
Yo, that looks delicious.
I didn't know Tim Hortons just throwing down chicken sandwiches like
that's
that. That's
legit.
My guy.
Yo. Hey, man, next time you got to bring enough for everybody.
I mean, I own QSR. I looked at my account, man. I'm up like 85% on QSR. Some of those restaurants
QSR's doing good, man.
Are going insane, and now I know why. Holy crap, Apple just broke.
Now let's go TD. Never.
What's up?
I just said let's go TD because QSR is doing well, but TD, potential. TD, it's a Canadian bank.
Yeah, TD might have just got like another kind of spokesperson that might rocket that stock. So we're going to see what happens on that one.
What were we talking about here?
I have no idea. It's on the board there. Whatever you want. Earnings, I guess.
Earnings next week. Mike, we already talked a little bit about.
Look at the stocks.
We talked about Tesla in general. There was the note on them for their price decreases and how that gave them a competitive advantage. Let's look to see if that actually falls through. Now, you got to keep an eye on Microsoft because Softy has been kind of, I don't want to say languishing. Is that the right term? I don't know. Languishing isn't maybe the right term. It's been lagging. Lagging is what I want to do. I'm trying to get my school words out there because Sharif is so impressive. So here's a 50 period at 241. So it's been languishing beneath the 50 period moving average. However, you've got higher lows. And if it breaks out to 50 and can kind of take out this 44, you've got room to the moon. So this could be a monster mover. Look, it's all about the earnings. Like, are they actually going to have the growth that we want to see here? The truth be told, when you're talking about the AI side of things, for the last decade, like nobody's invested more into AI than Alphabet and Microsoft. If you want to talk about a loser when it comes to AI, it's the company that you can probably think about that has been not investing as much as their competitors. They may have just recently changed their name to something that begins with an M and ends with ETA. I'm long it right now, but yeah, they've been behind. Alphabet and Microsoft are going to be fine. Whoever solves it first, they're all going to make money, but you can't be missing out on that. I think this is going to be a big one to watch. I love that 50 period. I love it breaking out that channel. It's just not there yet. Good start today, up 3%. Although that's only barely leading the NASDAQ. Oh, I was supposed to mention this because I did just get trailed out of Wayfair. So it's interesting, like Luca was long Wayfair, I think here, as I was in the short, and he's like, yeah, we'll see who wins. I don't know that either one, because I shorted obviously on this wick. Like you see it go, Wayfair 40% short interest, job cuts instead of 1,000, it was like 12,000 or something. It was much higher number of job cuts than was expected. I don't want to say the wrong number. It's supposed to be 1,000. It was over 10,000, I think it was. When it started to really go parabolic, that's when I look for the short. It goes right in, doesn't get to 50. There's your big, massive wick top. And that's the entry I'm looking for. Like what happens, it comes right back beneath that 48.5, just go into the short, scalps them out into support there for like a $1.50, and then I want to see if it can flush down to 45 bucks. I think it rejects 50 on a Friday, yeah, we can get to 45. Didn't happen. I trailed it out at 47.50. So the way I look at it, unless he's still in it, we kind of both didn't get what we were looking for. Wayfair, you didn't quite have what I need. The short was good, but it wasn't good enough. Just goes to show, and I was saying this when I was grabbing my lunch to some of the other traders, everyone talks about GameStop and AMC and all this nonsense for short interest. But the truth is, those aren't that's not it. You got to find the ones that people aren't paying as much attention to. Because Brendan was talking about Wayfair yesterday. You know, like I remember him talking about Wayfair yesterday, and if you put it on your radar, and knew what that story was and bothered to check the short interest, there might not have been a more explosive opportunity. Like look at it break all the way down at 40s, big breakout, rejection, hold support, consolidate, and even if you're late, look how clean that is breaking out that double top. Like that is a $3 move to then consolidate, break that top, and go 40 cents beneath the breakout price before it runs $5. Like that, I don't care. You don't have to be an early man, but have it on your radar. There's a reason Brendan comes with these stories, and you want to pay attention to them. I wish I had, because maybe I would have had the long, which is a heck of a lot better.
Yeah, we want to talk about AI a little bit right now. What we just did. Yeah, we know that Microsoft is behind, well, not behind OpenAI. That's been built for years and years and years. Microsoft just dropped that $10 billion in. I thought it was for 49%, 10 billion into that one. But you know a name that I've been buying from days? This is because when I was very, very young, I've been managing my own RRSP, which is like the 401k over there, not like the Highway 401. That's anyways, nobody if you're not from GTA or Canada maybe. Anyways, my father got me that book, Wealthy Barber, and they were always talking about buying the biggest companies and the best dividends and value stocks instead of growth stocks. So I've been buying IBM basically since I was wee young. And this is a name that, of course, is big into it. And the reason why I like it, again, this dividend is 5%, 4.69%. And like, if you look at IBM, it's just kind of like where their PE is at. Where is it right now? There it is right there. What? Forward PE? No, forget about that PE, 86. Forward PE, 14 right now on forward PE. So, I really like IBM. And that's another name that if you are into AI, machine learning, things like that, IBM still, unlike some of these other names, I mean, Google's down huge. IBM's pretty much kept its value here over the years. So over the years, I should say more specifically. So I do like Google's my largest position in my account. So we'll have to talk about that without bias, right? So I can't. It's hard. And that's the thing. We don't really declare. I mean, I just tell you if there's a name in the NASDAQ, the top like 20 names in the NASDAQ, I probably own them. And then probably almost all the names in the Dow Jones. I have like 40 names or something in my RRSP. It's actually ridiculous. It's too hard to manage, to be honest with you. And that's why I don't manage it, just YOLOing those plays. Give them to my kids. They'll deal with those positions. They could deal with my Nikola position when they get it. Yeah, no, all kidding aside, right there, Apple, let's go, man. That's a chicken dinner winner. This trade's not buying me that golf, but it's a nice trade to the upside right there. Did we get it once or twice? We only got it once up there at that high. That's exactly $1, so we took that at 30. Now it's fading back in. I only have 10% left on this trade, and we just rang the register again. We'll go bang on this one because look what just came in again, Alibaba. So I only have 2 positions on right now. I will be looking to put on some more as we head into the close right now. But, I'm just trying to decide which way. I know I want to go long, but I'd rather play dips, right? Like, it's just, we broke the 50 period. We didn't really mean too much in the midday. It was bouncing around it, but you see, respected this 50 period the whole way. So if we can get a pullback into this 50 and retest, just to shake out sort of weak hands or something, then that would be great. But the NASDAQ's up 2.3%. The ES Neil is up 1.5%. Goldman Sachs had that story.
Yeah, the banks are...
Yeah, I don't...
Goldman, they're having a rough day.
I only looked at Goldman, though. I don't know if any of the other banks...
JP Morgan just turned red recently.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Morgan Stanley is... MS had the best earnings, so that's why they're up 1%. But, it's not everything to the upside. Just quickly, can we show my quote board here? Because if you look at what's actually negative in my quote board, like you're going to see things like Boeing, Pepsi, Goldman Sachs... Bed Bath & Beyond is getting its butt kicked today. But what really stands out outside of like Nat Gas and UVXY in a ripping market is Goldman Sachs, man. Brendan brought the story of the investigation. This is what happened to Goldman here. Absolutely smashed. It didn't even respect like a monster 340 level on the daily chart. Oh goodness, yeah, my dailies are kind of messed up. So there, you can see 340 on my 15. I don't want to put a 60-minute chart up or anything, then I'll have too many. But this is what 340 has looked like, and it kind of wicked right through. It's trying to hold up at that 340 now, but I don't even want to bottom pick the stock the way it's trading. It's just so incredibly weak here, so I'm going to stay away from it. I do want to go back over to something we are actually in. Roblox, where is my offer? Okay, it's getting close. Like there was a dip just there, and I thought I was bidding 35 to get more shares on the dip, kind of how we did in Meta. Sort of work that breakout. We were long Roblox a few times today. So I started short at 34. You guys remember 34 from yesterday? Then we went into the 34 long. This could have been the trade of the day too, but they didn't really learn much of anything. Key level, short it, long it. That's exactly what I did. And then I started looking at dips. Dip, make a bottom wick here. I hate making a wick out. And when that happens, jump right back in. Worked it back to 35, got stopped out, waited for a 35 break, and now we're sitting in that 35. So this has been a nice little trend to the upside. Let's see if we can hold above 35 even, and then see how far it can go. You mentioned BABA. I did that thing again where I had my stop order, and and it came back up to 120. I'm like, oh, let me just hit the bid and go short. But I had to cancel my stop first because I had an edge A stop. So I'm going to try and rinse and repeat this 120 level on Alibaba. Anybody that was watching the morning show, it was a huge trap, that 120 break. And I remember thinking the way that we got that fill, that was not kosher at all or cool. I like saying different terms, but it broke 120, and I got long at 120, not ones or twos like you would normally think on a stop break. And then by the time I even looked at the level two, I got the fill, looked at level two, it was already 10 cents out of the money. It was just an unbelievable like algo stop run and then just slam it right back down, trap everybody long. I tried to like do the whole dip buy consolidation thing. That worked for a bit and it broke down. So what do you do after that happens? You short the level. If it breaks a top, I'd consider that long, but that was such a huge trap on Alibaba, and I kind of knew it too, and got out a half for a 20-cent hit. If I had just only taken it all out, would have been much better. But hey, we got some good ones on right now. I don't want to completely ignore some of these other names that are coming out here. I see people asking about like Tesla and all of that. And then someone in the chat just asked you what a Golf R was, by the way. They're like, what's Golf
just a model,
R?
It's just a model car. There's Golf, there's GTI, there's the basic
it's just a Volkswagen.
one. Yeah, it's the Golf, the little Golf. But the thing is, because it's the R version, it has tons of horsepower. It's all jacked up. It's like 70 grand just to start with, and we got to pay 13% tax, so on and so forth. So it's too expensive. It's not
worth it.
We pay legit
tax.
I was just saying, like, going back and forth. I only drive 11 kilometers back and forth to work. It still takes like half hour, but it's just zipping in around the city. I was like, it's something a little small, compact. But then I take the kids everywhere as well. So, I mean, can I fit like 3 hockey bags in the back of that? Probably not. Anyways, shout out there. Crypto days high right now.
If you can.
I was actually talking about crypto last night with a couple friends, and it was like, what about, like, if you really don't believe in crypto right now, which is fine, I get it. There's been a lot of talk about it being manipulated to the upside here. This is a 1-minute chart. I actually wanted to go a little bit higher than that. 15 is fine. In this recent move, I don't really know what the manipulation is, to be honest with you, but people are saying that it is sort of orchestrated to the upside. Maybe you guys can send me what exactly this manipulation is all about. I'm not sure. I'm just being honest. I don't know what that talk is. We do have more and more bankruptcies coming through. We had Genesis, Binance and FTX. Still got to sort all that out, to be honest with you. We are going to have Kevin O'Leary, I think. We're going to do a pre-call with him. He's going to be coming on hopefully next week or the week after. We're going to get that all sorted out as well. So shout out to Kevin O'Leary and his team. What's up, guys? Just this 21.6 here, the talk that I had is, if you don't believe in crypto, right? I don't want to go short now, but I'm just thinking, like, what about just going short the next time you break 20 to the downside, and then whatever this recent high is right now, right? And the benefit, again, we talk about this all the time here on the show, and, we're going to have crypto, fingers crossed, on our platform very soon, but what kind of a show is that going to be when I'm trading freaking XRP and Cardano and all these things as well? I might not even trade equity anymore. No, I still will. But I'm thinking the next time we break 20, what do you guys think? Like, why don't you, just get out of all your crypto if you have any, let's just say, right? Next time it breaks 20, you just go short. You play one of those triple levered ETFs or something like that on the short side. And then if it ever takes out whatever the recent high is right now. Now, if this goes to 30 or 40 or whatever, okay, that's off. But if you break back down below 20 right now and you really don't believe in it, I just think 20 is such a psychological level that you could easily, I mean, if you're going to go to a daily chart here, you can easily test backwards, right? And like here's the level when we broke 50. Like here's 50. Like you want to talk about key levels? Like there's 50. Just boom, right down here to 30. That last break of 50 got you back down to 30. Tried to retest, and then here's bouncing around 30. Like these dimes are like there's 20, right? So you get a lot of action at these even $10,000 levels. So I just wonder if we fail the next time at 20. And we just bounced off 15, but what if 15 doesn't hold? Then do you have a double right there? So I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I haven't made the play yet. I still am long crypto, but that's something that I want to think about. I'm not in Coinbase or any of those other names, but that's sort of my thinking there. Possibly if crypto does retrace back, we don't have to tap out of it, but I'm wondering about that short idea.
Yeah, I was like, it's interesting. Sharif and I were having a conversation about 20,000 as well. Like my thought, I actually had this. So I went to obviously you can tell I went to my barber, and he's always asking me about crypto. It's it's pretty much inevitable because once like somebody invests, they're like, oh, what do you do? And he knows what I do, and I'm not an expert on crypto, but we were talking about that 20,000 level. My thought is, if it doesn't hold, 'cause I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to do one thing or not going to, but if it doesn't hold, I think the next low we find is going to be the low on it. I'm proud of myself for not fighting Coinbase today because sometimes you get that instinct, and it was pretty tempting to be looking for the short off of 51. It really, really tempting to think about that short. Didn't do it. There is that lower high from the other day there. I think it was like Wednesday. Is that Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. We're at 54, 53 and a half or so, and you could think about a curl. I almost wanted to give it. If I'm going to short this, I almost wanted to just go parabolic and then just start running up into these levels like 56, 57. And then I'll think about shorting because it's too damn strong. That's the reality. Sometimes you just have to say something crazy has to happen to get me excited about it. Just a point, Alibaba just broke through VWAP there, so I got it out in front of VWAP. I think it might get down to 119, so let's just hold on for that. This is actually moving. You don't usually see these ADRs move in the afternoons, but this one is moving. I want to point out XPeng, which was like the strongest or one of the strongest of the bunch, this is also starting to fall as well. Maybe not as exciting, but it was such a big mover early. If it starts to accelerate or I see a volume pick up, that could be an interesting short as well. I think I just got filled in Roblox. There we go. I just got 35 quarters in Roblox. I'll buy the dip at 35.25, and we will go back to the well as this has been trending to the upside all day long. And of course, I should have just held on to Wayfair. Oh well.
Someone said, how are my NFTs doing? I mean, I'm not really into the only NFTs. I mean, I don't really have too many. I have a number one DeMar DeRozan NFL. The NBA ones, that's
play wide receiver.
That's huge. I mean, that's probably worth couple grand for sure. It's a number one. They're minted, but that doesn't matter. I'm out of them all pretty much. The only thing that I have left, the wife has some of those horses. What are those called? I forget what those are called now. She was racing them and whatever. I don't know how that went out. But no, so my Wall Street Bull, I got the IPO. What do they call them when their coins?
ICO.
The drop ICOs when they drop. Yeah. I thought it was, but again, Ether was probably 2,500 or so. I'm pretty sure they were 0.1 ETH. So this is 0.08. So yeah, down a little bit right now if I do anything, but I'm just holding on to it anyways. It did appreciate and then came right back in. So these are those Wall Street bulls. So that's the only thing if you guys wanted to know. I forget. Oh, Z runs. That's what those are. I'll have to double check those. Thanks for that in the chat there. Yeah, those horses. You can run them. They're pretty hilarious, actually, how they all work out there. That was really fun. We were running them before. You win, actually. It's like you own a horse in like a derby. It's just, that's kind of the fun stuff. That's kind of where I think NFTs are. You know, like, You're Blue Jays. Okay, so you're a Blue Jays season seat holder, right? Like, how cool would it be if the Blue Jays just sort of had an NFT that they sent all of their shareholders, season seat people, and then you could just scan it, right? And not only that, but now because you have this NFT, maybe it gets you other things.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, people talk about it for concerts and things like that.
That's a different story.
Yeah, and then you could sell your NFT, which would be the piece, so it's like getting rid of your season tickets. So there is possibilities for it.
Never.
That's maybe not the best example, but I think that NFTs are cool. And then also for selling music, I think like Taylor Swift wants to solve this problem with, and here I am just going on a rant again, but you want to solve a problem with selling tickets on Ticketmaster and stuff like that, kick them to the road and just somehow try to figure out the best. And I don't know the best way to do it here. You guys would obviously know in the chat.
There's a better way.
There's a better way there, and I think you could use blockchain. Forget about, like, we always use the word crypto and things like that, but you could use the blockchain to issue tickets. That's actually happening right now. Things like that. So that's the kind of cool stuff that I believe you can do.
I
with,
love
with,
that notion,
with blockchain.
and I've said before, like my favorite artist, contemporary artist, is Ryan Leslie, and one of the reasons I absolutely love him is that dude made a decision like, at the beginning of his career, that there was no chance that he was going to like play the regular game.
Right.
Like he started out, you buy like a membership on Gumroad, and then
that's it.
And you pay like X amount, like you pay like it's like $1 a year or some nonsense like that, and then you just get digitally all of his drops.
Right.
And then so I was getting like his videos would drop digitally. He did it. He was doing lots of stuff on YouTube with those
Maybe
creation
merchandise
videos.
you get first dibs on or whatever.
He has a line, man. The guy went to Harvard at 16. He's a smart dude, but like that's one of the reasons why I loved him. So I'd love to see Taylor Swift absolutely shock. I'd love to see her like shock the market because it probably needs something. Baba is flushing here, but
I'm
the market,
bidding 31s.
The market's flying.
You bidding 31s?
You should have bid 32.
You bidding 31s?
Bid 32. It's better.
There it is. We got 31s, but you are right. We should have bid 32s there for you on that one. There it is, man. Let's go. I mean, honestly, we keep talking about. And again, I got to shout out, what's his name, Mike Bellafiore or something like that. I'm reading that One Good Trade book. And honestly, it's just like, I'm not reading its audiobook. But you know what? 120 to the downside.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You know why? Because on the way in and back and forth,
you can't read when you're driving a commute.
My kids love to listen to, you guys have those Google Homes and stuff like that, Alexa and stuff. So they have Audible. So it was just, we get like 2 credits a month to download a book, and I was like, I'm grabbing that book. But anyways, it just goes to show, it's not that I'm, it's a good book. I don't know if I've learned anything from it. Like I have 21 years. I'm not even sure the guy who wrote it has that much, but 120 to the downside. It's like when it lines up, even though we got burned going long right here, and we didn't get burned because we actually got that dip and got it back and it was fine. But it's not the perfect trade for sure. The point of what I'm getting at here is like when it comes right back up, even if I lost on this, and this is where I take that one good trade from, even if I lost, I would be happy losing on this opportunity. And I know that sounds crazy, but when the opportunities are there like this, you take it. If it breaks 120, fine. But like you could have put on an unlimited, I mean, it's done 15 million shares. You could have put on in your whole account, you could have put here. And if it breaks above, you lose that 20 cents or whatever it is. Does it suck? Yes, it does. But this is a good trade. Hitting that 120 downside, like as I just said, Neil and I, you just heard us get them out in the 30s all the way to the downside. You got to take your outs, right? But that was one good trade, and that's right to the downside right there. And now look where I took it out, right into support. That's that. Apple goes $1 in the money. Boom. Now you're right here trying to think about what you want to do. Remember I said that we would pull back? Unfortunately, now I've been too distracted with all this crypto talk and everything. So I got to look for better opportunities right now to get back in because the market just flushed down a little bit there. That was a good opportunity to start to buy something. I just got to find what to buy.
Well, I'm on the bid of 35 in Roblox. I'm going to keep going back to that till it works. There was that news piece on AMD, which really probably just gave you you talk about waiting for a dip buy. Like there was that one little shock on AMD, and then it's just been breaking out for all day. 69 is the level, it legitimately is the level, and it has been pretty much all day. It was resistance. I think that's where I'd be waiting for on AMD if I was looking to buy the dip. But it's strong. You look for something that's relatively strong. When I said it under my breath, I'm an idiot for getting out of Wayfair. I didn't mean I was literally an idiot. Just obviously I could have held on to it. But at some point, when a stock is this strong with a short interest, I don't want it going all the way back up to the top and then just sort of holding it all the way. I'm going to get out at some point, not giving it all up. The next trade I get, I think, is going to be Roblox. Things could change. I know GNS is moving, so I see everybody in the chat talking about GNS. However, I just want to remind everybody what happened to the stock today. So rejected 5, double bottom at 3. It's now coming up to the higher low. So we'll see how it sustains this move. You guys can't see volume there, so let me just, this is kind of an exaggeration. But yeah, there you go. Not a ton of volume really just yet in this push. Like, it's trying to get there. If it can't push through 370, I think there's a decent chance it could fall back in. What I'm looking for is even if it rejects 370, so let's say it gets to that last hump and rejects it, if it can bounce off 325, then I'd maybe look for like a higher low and then scalp it on the way to VWAP. That way I'm not trying to hit a home run with it, because I'm not sure buying up here makes a ton of sense. Like, this stock has been dying pretty much all day. I know it's up 66%. That's a little bit misleading, because quite frankly, for the majority of the day since the open, it's been a sell. This is it at 9:30. It made all of its run in the pre-market, and then it just started. Everybody just started taking profits for the entirety of the morning. So it's kind of it's a good move if you got it at the bottom, but in the bigger picture, it's just at some pretty significant resistance.
All right. Oh God. Yeah, I'll try to read that next book. You guys said The Playbook is his next book.
Yeah, I know that book.
Yeah. Well, did you read it?
I haven't read it, but we've gotten lots of suggestions. So there's actually, I don't know if that's one of the books that Brankles has in like there's like a mini library of trading books that they have over there on the desk. And if that's one of them, I know everyone always talks about One Good Trade is the go-to, but I've heard them talk about The Playbook. I haven't read that one myself, so I'm always interested in it. I tend to prefer books that are about like the way you think or the way you view the world, or maybe not specifically to trading. Like, I love everything Nassim Taleb writes. Fooled by Randomness, I think, is fantastic. It's not directly a trading book, but it does help the way you process things and the way you think, which is the way I tend to lean into, as opposed to like specifically trading books. But to each their own. Like, you can learn from anything. Like, to me, reading is life. Like, I'm literally always reading at least 1 or 2 books at any given moment. And one of them is always science fiction, because that's how I roll. So I'm now on the bid of GNS here, looking for this 325 pullback, which I think is about to happen. Saad Mahmoud actually just said Atomic Habits by James Clear. You know, I was actually gifted that over the holidays. So it's on my list. I just have a few books I'm trying to get through, and then I'll get to that one next. But I've heard it's fantastic. I'm a big believer in you make habits in your life as opposed to like fads or anything like that. Like, to me, reading's just a way of life. It's just something I do. Working out's just something I do. It's just part of my life. Like, instead of it being like a gimmick, you just make it a habit. Like, I can't do without it. It's just part of my life. And then suddenly, it's not some chore that you have to get into, like reviewing my trades, winding down on the train. Like, it's just something that you do, and then you don't have to worry about. Oh man, I don't feel like it, this or that. No, you've just hardwired yourself to get into those habits. I'm assuming that's what it's about. I can't wait to read it. Come on, GNS. I want the little dip buy here. I think it's about to come back down. So let's see if we can actually get it.
Yeah, I think my wife has Atomic Habits as well. The Marlins just acquired the Twins, Luis, the guy Arias.
Arias for Lopez?
Yes. So that just happened. So the Marlins making moves right now.
I like that.
Shout out to the MIA again.
I like that.
Miami's all over the place right now.
I like that because I've already plotted out my dynasty draft.
Right, exactly.
And there's a prospect on the Twins who I want to pick up, but he was being blocked. By Arias. So now I think he's going to get some run early on in the year. So that should be pretty safe. I also have Miranda, who's going to be a beast this year.
Okay, good.
Jose Miranda, if you're into baseball pools.
And who's that guy that we got, Bentway or something, or Belt or something like that? That guy said that now we're going to be World Series favorites.
Oh, so, come on, man.
Good job. Brandon Belt.
He's my backup first baseman in my AL
he should be our backup first baseman, too.
Yeah.
I probably would be, I guess, with Vlad chilling out there. Maybe that gives Vlad DH.
No, Vlad's actually a good glove at first.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's really good.
But you don't want to get that guy hurt. We're going to pay Vlad $500 soon, so we'll see how that goes.
Pay the man.
Well, we don't have no choice at this point. All right, so I found a stock, by the way. Hi, I'm Shawn. Hopefully we're here to trade a little bit now. But look, we already got out Alibaba. We're riding Apple to the high side right now. What about Advanced Micro? I don't have any trades on Advanced Micro today at all, which is kind of okay. It wasn't great in the morning, and then it was just choppy. But then once it broke 6.9er, it was gone, man. It went up, well, upsides, up to 60 cents up, which was pretty nice. You're now below the 50 period, but you're kind of bouncing off this 620 area, 69.20, 69.10 or so. So I was sort of thinking here, why not? I mean, I was hoping it would dip. It looks like now I got to pay the piper and pay up a little bit for this name. But I'm thinking like right now, it's breaking this 34, 35 area. Let me just put a little small bid on. We'll buy. We just removed from the offer there, so I don't ever like to do that, but that's okay. We're now long 34s, small piece. As you break above the 50 period right now, let's see if we can retrace back higher. We got that dip down that we wanted to. Unfortunately, wasn't paying enough attention. Should have been, instead of talking about Z horses and shit like that. But there it is, 69 bottom. I mean, right there, we just punched in. It's right away in the money, 5 cents. Let's see if we can't get this, obviously, back up to 50. That's where we always take one piece out if it can get up there. So we'll hang around somewhere around 50 to get it out. There it is. Look at it. We just put this on. One good trade, maybe one good punch in right now. So that's going to the upside right here. Let's average it in, right? If we get back down to 69, then we'll drop this thing off. But let's average in to AMD as much as we can here, and watch out for 69. That's going to be our drop-off spot. So if it does, bang, right there. So there it is. I mean, I said let's get back to trading, and there's 20 cents immediately. So all right, okay, AMD, I see you. Let's go over to the big desk right now. There's another one with Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, into the final hour of the day we go. Final hour of the week, in fact. I just did a few calculations, and the SPY, the S&P 500, obviously, positive once again for the week. We'll see if we can hold on to that. But my apologies. I mean the NASDAQ. The SPY is almost there, but it's the NASDAQ that is, in fact, back to positive territory on the week. A little bit of room to go. For the S&P, the Dow not going to get there, but we did see yesterday the Dow go negative on the year as well. So 0.72. Back to the upside right now for the Dow, getting rid of some of those declines anyways. 1, 1, and 1 there for 1.5 even for the Russell 1000 and 3000. Pretty good look though. 2.25, 2.5. NASDAQ leads. Again, positive once again for the week. So good look. Here we go. Netflix, Google, and Nordstrom's discussed if you were with us for the first hour of the day. Big report for Netflix ends up being a bit of a snooze fest all day long. Not much price action. Retailers, yeah, good look back to the upside. It was a negative catalyst though, so not too many people looking on the positive side. 0.75 now almost for Nordstrom's, guys.
Last couple of earnings plays have been pretty bad.
We were just sort of saying this. Like, this is not the first time Netflix has been like a big mover on earnings in the aftermarket, and then we come in the next day, and I don't think either one of us trades it. And that's fine. Like, that's going to be, I'm pretty sure in the next week we'll probably trade the stock, and before we certainly traded it, but it's not a trade every day. Just want to go back to the well, remind everybody, I did get a dip buy in 35. So we were still trading while we were talking, but the prices are, this is not that difficult to want, like 35 even. We were able to get like 3s and some 4s down here. It's back up to the high of the day, but I think this is what has everybody excited. It's the cause. Cause.
At least it's a good cause.
It's the cause of all the excitement in the chat right now. Halted to the upside is cause M. I was just asking Sharif, what's the deal here? They made some kind of an letter of intent acquisition. I would say, like, if I don't understand what's going on, a lot of times I'll say yada 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 pharma, low float. So yada yada yada, I think it's pharma, low float is what I think is happening here. But just a small reminder, this is another one of these reverse split, rejection, and then gets like a second life type of move. So it is like way past some of the bigger levels, but this has been up at like, I think it was like 20, 24. I was just showing you on the daily chart. With plenty of room to run, but probably going to run out of steam at some point. It's got 51 million in volume, which is absolutely insane. That's wild. So when you see that kind of volume, I see it still going. I'm going to look to see where the first consolidation I can play off is. Just like one of these. Like, it makes a channel, holds the bottom, and this would have been like, look for a 5, risk, like this is 490, man, like risk like 10, 15 cents, and then just hold for the moon. So if it does that kind of a setup, we'll see. It's indicating $5.77, which is basically flat for the reopen. I'm sure that's going to change when it does open up in like a minute or two. Meta's back to the high of the day. Where are we at? 139.50. I'm looking 140 on Meta here. Is the market now 2.5% to the upside? So it's a good thing we left her on the bull. No reason to get away from the bull until we have a good, solid reason to. Thankfully, Netflix. See, we were down yesterday, but Netflix dragged us to the upside. I'll give them all the credit, although really the heavy lifting is being done by a lot of different names here, like Meta, Microsoft. Netflix has been kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean,
I was going to say something there too, because like, don't be surprised if I don't really trade any earnings. I'm just trading price action, and honestly, like, if it's good and it's there, fine. But like, you don't, like I just said, man, like, know where your bread is buttered. We keep saying that over and over again. Like, I just went over to AMD and found this trade, boom, right there as it's going back up to the upside right here. So, you know, sometimes you got to be very patient with the trades that you're looking for, and just make sure that it's in the right names and the right reasons why you're doing something, because honestly, man, that's really all that matters. If you're trading a name that's hot, yeah, sure, it looks sexy and it's great to trade it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to make money on it, right? So that's the other thing. And I did that yesterday on Netflix. I was so excited. It was breaking out. It was doing this. It was doing that. The next thing I know, it's like, what's going on? And then it was like chaos and wound up losing everything. So, you know, stay focused, stay on the stocks that you believe in, and really trust your own ability in all this stuff. So Netflix, yeah. I just, you know, and I said this earlier this morning, when you have names like that moving around, NFLX quickly here, there it is, there's the chart. Like, you don't know which, you know, where these traders are going to be. Are they going to be offside or not? Like, it's a big move up, and then here's this morning, right? So market opens up at 9:30, goes down to 331 right there, then rips up. This is within the first 10 minutes, goes up $12 before dropping right back down again to 334. So if you're monitoring volume and things like that and you're actually watching the stock, that's a completely different story. But I just find that some of these names are pretty hard to monitor as you're looking for other opportunities. And you guys know that we're all over Google for sure on that one. Okay, Apple's retraced all the way back to the day's high. Thinking again, this could be just an out again. We're in the money now, 93 cents. We've already taken one out right here. Last time we were here, this is that long. Apple probably a good play. And then I'm just going to sort of rest on this and not hope, but wait to see if this is going to be a good play here. AMD continuing to go to the upside. I still do want to get some more long, but I mean, it's going to have to fall back into 69.20, 69.30 for anything to happen with that. I know you guys are still talking about Google, some BTC talk there. BKKT, isn't that a crypto name as well? Is that an NY?
Oh, just a heads up, guys. COSM is open back up. It's at $6 here. Just come quickly to the chart, so I want to explain what I was looking for a trade for like 15 to 20 cents worth of risk. That halt price is 75, and I've got an average of like 5.99, so it's actually 30 cents, kind of double the risk I was going for. But it bounced right off the halt price, and I wasn't able to really get shares tighten up at like 5.90. So as it goes up, I needed to just get through that 20 mark, man. Somebody's selling a bunch at 20, so I'll go 18, and then I'll probably throw some at like 6.40. I shouldn't just throw it at 42 because that's kind of really lazy. But yeah, this is what I was looking for. Just maybe not the risk to reward that was perfect. Like a better trade would have been as it bounced off of 75, like you're actually catching 85s and 90s. But I was getting like 90s and then like 03s topside. So I'm just looking to see if we can go a little bit better than 1-to-1 here, get like 1.5-to-1 up at the 40 level. I have scalped some out, and then just hold to see how far it can go. And you know, if I get stopped out at the previous halt price, and it bounces, it goes like 5 cents lower than that, stops me out and goes higher, who cares? That's the cost of doing business. I'm always going to have a stop because I'm buying a top on a stock that's up 100%, and the last time it did a move like this, it like rejected and dropped like, you know, like 20 bucks or whatever it was from that 24 level. So let's just see how far it can go here. It's kind of one of those pay yourself out and then go for house money. If it halts again to the upside, I'm going to hold through that halt because that will have meant I've gotten a couple of legs out here on COSM. The market is just screaming, by the way.
It's crazy.
Like, not that this stock doesn't care about that, but Meta continues to break out. I'm still looking for 140 there. Roblox is good. I don't know what's going on with BABA because it's not. Yeah, it's back above VWAP. I'll still short Bob if it gets back to 120. We'll rinse and repeat that one. That looks absolutely fine. Yeah, but COSM, brand new trade for me. It's the first time I've had it. I just got those 640. 642, baby. You know I love that number. And that's the high of the day, so I actually got the top wick there. And now it's starting to come back in, but I'm not moving my stop. This is either breaking that halt price or we're going up to $7. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
Next time Waller speaks, I'm exiting out of all my positions. Yeah, probably a good idea. I mean, that's honestly the one thing that I've learned in all of this, man. It's like, when Fed speak starts happening,
Whoa,
it can
GNS,
really
what
just
the-
move this market absolutely insane. Someone wanted me to look at
Wow.
BKKT right now, GNS, right? Moving around. BKKT.
Dude, check this out.
Not really doing too much. What's up? We'll go to Brendan first,
Yeah,
and we'll
go to
come back to Neil. What's up, Brendan?
Big move in crypto right now, guys. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum just taking out the highs from earlier on in this week. Here we go. Nice look on, this is Bitcoin right now and Ethereum as well. Both making, as I mentioned, big moves to the upside. While I have you, I was going to mention Affirm, wrong exchange, but Affirm as well on a nice move right now.
So just quickly, we'll go to crypto in a second,
like
but
it.
this is, remember GNS at 25? I got long and then immediately my stop, which was in place for the dip buy, in and out, very, very clean, but it barely even, I didn't even see this on my position, on my summary. Like it showed up maybe for a split second and then it immediately broke down. I always trade these things with a stop. It's like having a stop in cause M. Like there's no chance I want this to run me over. I don't care if I make a bottom wick, but what a run that just did. Maybe this is, remember I said I was looking for Coinbase to do something ridiculous and then I'd short it off of this high at 57? Well, maybe ridiculous is about to happen. So if we break 55 and start going parabolic, just like Wayfair, I'm going to wait till it makes that big, just ridiculous or nonsense parabolic candle and look for something short on Coinbase up at like 56, 57. I didn't think we had a chance, but now I really do. The way we're seeing crypto going, the market's booming, we got a shot here on coin.
I mean, I've been saying it since the beginning of the year, since the beginning of last year, since the beginning of 2 years ago. Crypto and the NASDAQ, again, I just feel like as the NASDAQ booms, you could go back and look at all the days to fact check if you want, but I just feel like all these monster days in the market, I'm just gonna have to get long coin. Like, if I really do think that this market's about to blow up, like the NASDAQ, like today, I mean, obviously we'll be sitting here trading equity, but crypto, definitely, I told you we're gonna be trading it very, very soon. I've got lots on my mind for that market, that's for sure. But look at GBTC. This is another name. Shout out to Jeff Mendel there at OTC Markets. He'll be coming on, I believe, next week. I think he was busy this week, hopefully coming on next week. And we'll talk to him about Dallas Cowboys. That's the first thing we'll talk about. And then we'll talk about GBTC because that's just ripping upside. So this is the grayscale product. I don't know. There was some talk about them being offside a little bit, not holding enough coins and so on and so forth. I don't know enough about that story, but this is supposed to pretty much follow one-to-one. So you're seeing this one up. And again, it's going to be a little different than what you might think crypto was up because this is 3.9% from yesterday's close. So, but still a nice move up here for GBTC. You can see how much it's been hit. I mean, $30. This just follows crypto, right? So it was obviously a big day. It's bottomed out at $6 or $7, $8. Right there, the bottom pick there for GBTC as that's starting to go. I always said, and again, I actually own some of this stock here. Hut 8 has been a great stock if you like the altcoins and the mining side of things. You can see it's up 13%. So just like Bitcoin's not up 13% today, and maybe it is, and I don't know about it, but Hut 8 is up 13% from yesterday's close. So here's a name that's been working out. Looks like it wants to still continue to work out here. Hut 8, nice upside move, looking to break out again. And here's 190. I mean, it's banged its head against 190. If I believed more in this stock and knew about it, then, this is probably a great long as well. Right there for Hut 8 is another one. And what do you got on? SI? What do you want to look at?
I mean, is it that predictable? I was like, Coinbase has to go all the way to 57.
What else we talk about? Hut, Coin, or SI?
That's one of those two.
We never talk about Mara or anything. Maybe we should look into that.
Trading right and Mara is actually, you've got to be so tuned in. I feel like you got to have your Coinbase chart up. Not Coinbase. You got to have your your BTC up there. You can make some good trades on those. I just find if you're focused on big tech, big cap equities, that's the kind of thing you trade, and then you only trade that. I find Riots and Mars of the world, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Why wait for Coinbase to get to 57 when Silvergate is already at 14? It's not at 14 yet. It's at 1384, but that's pretty darn close. We were shorting this. You remember this day, just waiting around for it to get up here, and then it just flushed. So I like this. It's generally speaking, when you get a rollover in the crypto names, this is one of the better ones to go short because fundamentally it's got a lot more problems. So let's see if it can get to that 14 level. I might put an offer in front of 14. I know that 14.25 is the real top, but I want to get something in right at 14 if it gets up there. So just in case Coinbase doesn't go, I might be able to work into a short of SI, which quite frankly has been a heck of a lot better for me anyways. I'm pretty sure I have a way better track record shorting SI than Coinbase. Coinbase has a way of running you over, to be honest. It's just when it gets going, sometimes it just gets nasty when you're trying to short that one. I'm going to think about trailing stops at this point. We're starting to get even parabolic on the futures. And the first thing I wanted to do was just have an idea where we're at on the ES, because we're now within spitting distance of 4,000. And if we get to 4,000 on the ES, I'm definitely going to be thinking profit take. We're into power hour now. The NASDAQ is almost right at that big failed high that we had. That 11.7, I know we kind of wicked above that, but 11.7 earlier in the week, it was a huge failed breakout on the, what was it, was PPI this week?
Yep.
Yeah, so it was on PPI, we had the big run up, and then we sort of failed 11.7. That's what I'm looking for now. If we get up there, I got to think trailing stop, like how far can Meta go? Decent chance, even if we don't reject that level outright, you're probably going to get some kind of a consolidation or pullback. So when you're working or holding longs, that's what you got to think about. So I'm going to cancel my offer in front of 140. And then just sort of play this by ear up around that key resistance level on the NASDAQ.
All right. Wow. Google. I mean, congratulations anyways, long Google, man. I mean, you can see Google right here on the 3-minute chart just continues to make moves to the upside, just blasting off here. Take off, says Google, upside. Nice move, man. Just taking out 98 right there. Could have punched along. We're already long. Like, we're already long Apple and AMD and short Alibaba without any worries on any of these plays. But there goes Google again, man. Congratulations. It was my best trade of the day. And, I mean, just to be still in this would be insane. To call a 3% move in the NASDAQ, I mean, you know, if you don't expect it, it's hard to sit there and be like, yeah, you know, we kind of expected this to happen from Google, because let's be perfectly honest, this is a monster move here, and I didn't expect it. So, you know, up 6% on job cuts seems to be a little bit much, but hey, the NASDAQ's also lifting. So when you get stocks that have sort of this acceleration into it, and, you know, me and Neil talk about it all the time, look for relative strength, look for relative weakness, all this kind of fun stuff. And I mean, honestly, if that's what people are looking for, then yeah, they picked Google today for sure, because this name is absolutely rocketing. Just broke out through 98. I mean, could this be 100? Could it be 100? Could open up more than $100 on Monday. So we'll have to wait to see, but still a nice monster move. I'm not shorting this. Look at it, just ride this 50 period all the way to the upside. No shorts in sight. You might think like, oh, short 98, nah. Look at it, just continuing to go. There's no reason to step in front of this thing. It's just no red candles. I mean, you know,
I'd
sure,
short 100.
Got a couple there. Oh yeah, if it can get to 100, fine. I mean, that's, you know, key levels like that. If it gets to there today, wow. I mean, we're ridiculous, but there's 100 right here. It's broken it before. It's not even like 100's that key. It's more of a psychological number. So that's what we'll be looking at right there. And it's Friday, so you do have options and situations as well. But honestly, guys, I mean, again, we'll sit here, we'll talk shop with you, but like, look what's happening right now with Apple. Apple's $1.50 in the money. We just took this break for you guys live. Oh, it was right before the show, right? 150, but doesn't matter. When the show started, we were in this, we were talking about it. There goes Apple straight, just murking to the upside right now. 138, there it goes, wicked for Apple there. Just, I don't know what, like it started to get going. It took out that high of 130. I mean, that's why we went long, right? It took out this high right into here, this 136 right there, took that level out on the 3-minute chart, and it's just straight upside pressure from here. Apple. Just wish I would have been able to hold more of it, but that's always gonna be my story. And then one more, the trade that we just put on in front of you as well, AMD's right back up to $70 again. It just doubled, triple topped at 80s. This might be a good out right here at 80 and then to forget about it. So we're going to put an offer here at 80 and just get out of AMD and finish that trade right now. Is it just double topped? We have Apple. That one's going to rip if it continues to work. So we're happy with that. 69.75 or so out for AMD. If we can get it, that's my target.
Yeah, so Meta just got to 139.94. Obviously, like that 140 level, that's a pretty big line in the sand. So I do have a trail in here, about like 35 cents. I think about 35 cents off of that high. So there's a decent chance I could get trailed out on Meta, but that was always going to be the target. I wanted to see how we churned in there. We didn't quite break it out, but we're getting top heavy. Like I said, we're right around that resistance level. If I get trailed out there, I've still got, man, Roblox is a New York stock, Neil. I still have Roblox, and I favor the dip buy on Roblox to 35 because it's not that far away from where we're at right now. So like if it can hold this, it's more of a scalpable level. Like buy the dip, 35 just hold because it's a big level, and then you get 25, 30 cents off of that and trying to hold the rest of it. I keep thinking that I'm gonna get more shares of Alibaba, but then it doesn't make it all the way back up to the top. When the market's this strong and you want to short off a resistance level, it's generally a good idea to not compromise on price because price matters, especially when you're like day trading and you have a shorter time frame. We only have like 40 minutes until the close, so I don't want to short this. And next thing you know, I'm averaging in at 80, then I'm averaging in at 90. And that's exactly what I did with Macy's today. That's exactly the way you don't want to do it. I'm just checking a couple of other names here. I know Microsoft, we were talking about that. Did it get to 241?
Did it?
It got pretty close, 240.74. So it got really close to 241. Yeah, there's a lot of names that are up at like resistance here that I don't want to be buying tops. So let's see. I got the trail on Meta. If it comes out, it comes out. I'll buy the dip on for sure on Roblox. And I just want to double check what Tesla is doing here. Just kind of running through some of these names, see what kind of prices we're at. Okay, Tesla. Where would I? Yeah, Tesla at 133. Yeah, you want the dip at 131.5. That's a little far away. Man, that was a good. Like, I'm watching Roblox for the dip buy at 35. Tesla, same thing. Exactly the same thing. Oh, COSM, by the way. Third time was not a charm. Remember I said if it broke that whole price, I'm out. I had a hard stop on the last of my shares holding the home run for. It broke the stop, stopped me out, and then managed to hold. So this might not be done. A lot of times you'll get that stop out, and then maybe this is the reason it goes. I'd rather see it show a little more volume and strength. You guys can, yeah, the volume not really picking up. So even though it ran stops, it's not like it did a bunch of volume here shooting to the upside. So I'm not just going to immediately jump back into this one. That whole rule of wick top and wick bottom, jump right back in, I tend to not have it to apply to stocks that are up 100% on, you know, yada, yada, yada pharma.
All right,
for lack of a better term.
Yeah, yada, 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 COSM, yada, 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 moving up, yada, yada, 400%. But right there, we'll end the trade right now. We'll do this, man. Let's wake up. I'm a little tired here today, to be quite honest with you. It's going to be a good one. I got some stuff to film after, which should be fine. And then it's home on the range. And we'll have some fun there tonight as well. I don't know if it's a movie night or what. My kids have something going on. And then we try to always do something on a Friday. So we'll see if we could do that. They've requested pasta. Like, I don't know, it's such an easy dinner.
Pasta for lunch.
So the wife wins on that one for sure. Because whenever the kids like a simple one, that's good. Last night,
Just
what
do
did I
homemade
make?
lasagna. That's not simple.
No. Yeah, we probably need the
Delicious,
weekend to
though.
make that. What did I make last night? I can't remember what we made last night.
I
made it
want
too. Chicken wings. We had baked chicken wings last night. That was pretty good. And then finally, my guy doesn't eat vegetables. So I was like, all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to boil carrots. I'm going to put brown sugar on them. Couldn't find the brown sugar, but found maple syrup. So, you know, still didn't like them. Tried. But anyways, that was good. So put the maple syrup with the carrots.
I'm going to hook you up next time. I'll get you one of
Yeah, hook me up. I mean, I just buy it from Costco. Like, they have, it's not. Or if we go up, so
You shouldn't be buying maple syrup, bro.
Yeah, I know. Well,
If you say, all you have to see, my in-laws,
Yeah,
if you
bring
just
it in.
look at their cellar, I always forget to bring in because it's like, I commute in, it's like I have to carry it on the train. But I get almost an unlimited supply. once a year, I have to help them when they're tapping all their trees.
Yeah, but that's fun,
It's a lot of fun to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's really not that bad as long as you dress warmly enough. It's a long process, but it's fun to do. My daughter gets to learn how to do it.
That's the best
and then
part.
I just get jars and jars of maple syrup, like more than you can even imagine. And the real stuff. You buy syrup in a store like Aunt Jemima nonsense. Once you've had real maple syrup, you never want that crap
Aunt Jemima's
again.
not even, that's table syrup.
It's table syrup. Like
that's not.
I'm talking like the legit.
My kids went to my mom's house, so it was their grandma's house.
Oh, God.
And yeah, she didn't have the real, she had that stuff, table stuff, and my kids were like, wow, Grandma, wow. And she was so now.
You just got out of Apple, right?
Now she knows. Did I get out of Apple? No.
Oh,
I got out of AMD for the winner.
Okay, I just got trailed out of Meta. I didn't know if the market had pulled back enough. I just got my trail out. It was right about where I said. I think I said like 35 pennies. It looked like it was, I guess I put it to 30 cents. So it was like, yeah, I got out there at 62. So yeah, it was probably 30-cent trail out. It did reject 140. I wanted to give it a chance to break 140 and hold on to it, but it kind of went far enough. Here's the funny thing, like it was the trade of the day kind of off the consolidation, and then the breakout ended up being better, so go figure. But I'm out of it now. I'm looking for Roblox to carry the torch. I don't know. They have torches. Whatever.
They do.
They do have torches. but
Minecraft, they carry torches around.
I was going to say, like, yeah, it's not that great of a line. But this is still going, so I might not get that dip into 35, but Roblox is still going. I'm going to hang on to this, see if it can't get to that 35 and a half. It already touched there, but I'd like to see it break out. If you're watching Wayfair, man, I should have held on to that short. I want to go back into it because it's going sideways too much. This is what's going on with Macy's. So I'm probably just going to slap put a stop, like a 23 even stop on this and just see what happens because it's not going anywhere. And I thought Xpeng would be interesting when BOVA was starting to move. Not really. So the Chinese ADRs, BOVA's the only one doing anything interesting. And we'll see what happens. I almost don't want to be shorting something off the top. Like I was looking for things to go short on and kind of rejected the notion of shorting Meta. Maybe I could have shorted Tesla. Someone was saying do that at 133. They were right. I was kind of looking for a dip buy into like 130, 150. I'm going to go back to the dip buys instead of shorting the tops.
Yeah. No, shout out to Chef Joe. You don't want to have too much sugar. That's for damn sure. We're trying to get better on that. We're drinking the water here. We're hopping on the Peloton.
No, you're not.
Yeah. I have Peloton. I told you that.
Oh, no, you did. Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I know
it's good.
I'm old, man. Sometimes I forget. I forget.
And then not doing it, but definitely cutting out like the late night foods. Like once you're done dinner, that's
a big one.
The intermittent fasting
that's what
as well. So I'm still waiting for Sharif.
I'm not
to
a
bring
diet
those,
person,
but
Sharif,
man, where are those peanut butter things? Make some.
He does these peanut butter like protein bites.
Yeah, my wife made them before as well.
He does a really good job. My wife does them too, but candidly speaking, Sharif's are really, really good. So he does a great job with it. But intermittent fasting, I've been doing it for a few years. And to me, it's just about the time that you eat. So I only have a 12-hour window, and it's always 12 hours. That is my eating window, and I try to do less than that if I can, but it's always at least minimum 12 hours. What I found, anecdotally, it worked wonders. However, most of it's just because I'm not eating crap at night. Mm-hmm. Like most of it's just that I'm not eating snacks. I eat a big dinner, and then you don't worry about anything else. So it's mostly the late night snacks get you, man.
Yes, sir.
That's the problem.
We're trying to cut those out as well, so that not as well, but that's what we're doing. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see some results here. I mean, everyone's working out around here, anyways. So all right, if we step back, aren't we still inside the range Arun gave? Honestly, I don't know which range he gave, to be honest with you, but here is the NASDAQ right here. Shout out to Arun. Thanks, man. Arun's been killing it. Checks notes is what I need to do. I don't know.
Oh, no way.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure what. I know Arun normally talks about the ES. I'm not sure if today he talked about the NASDAQ. Maybe you guys can remind me, and I can give you guys some indications. I don't know if Arun's been in any trades. We don't really talk about his trades unless he's here, so I'll leave that to him to talk about it maybe on Monday. But yeah, are we still in the range? I mean, look, if you're going to trade futures, it is a completely different game, right? If you got to wait for specific levels, it's much more of, I feel like anyways, a positional thing rather than just scalping in and out. Of course, you can scalp in and out if you're trading the futures. There's no doubt about that. But, for me, I don't know what the range is. I've already told you guys today, we looked at this earlier today, and I was like, we just got to hold this 11,400. And that's exactly where we were at the open, and that's exactly what wound up happening. So, for me, definitely pretty happy here.
He's saying 40-20.
Oh, good, you messaged him. Okay, so on the ES, so exactly.
Yeah, so he always talks to ES. That's sort of the thing. Like, especially in trading the futures, you pick your poison, like what you want to do. So if you can come to my chart, like he's basically, I can draw a line for it. Why not? Let's just go 40-20, and then there you go. So 40-20 is kind of his big resistance line, and just maybe ignore this this 39.50. I left this one in because it was a key level way back when, and just kind of see how it performs. It actually broke out from there, but you've got lots of room. So I was saying 4,000 because it's a round number. Like it's not as if I'm like 4,000 ES. I know it was support for like a couple of days in there, but apparently maybe we have a little bit more room, so you could break 4,000, even go to 420. So I'm favoring dip buys, man. You got 30 minutes left to go. If we do have one of those late day sort of like rallies, okay, Tesla's not coming back in here. What else might give us an opportunity? Roblox, now that's still too far. That's not going to give me the dip buy. We'll just go back to Meta pulling back off 140. Yeah, 139 is not really coming into play. Like a 139, maybe like 10, 15. Like that looks pretty good on Meta. If I can get in that range, I might take a shot at that one. If you're still watching Cause M, It's still trying to hold that breakout range, but it's kind of trending to the downside now. I got pretty lucky. Like I got 42, and 42 is the top because my favorite number is 42. So I had offers in there at 22 and 42, and then on the way up, it's just randomly what happens to hit, right? Like a lot of that's luck, right? It goes to 41, I don't get a fill. But I'm done with this stock. Like either it starts breaking out the top and giving me another setup off a breakout, or I just don't trade it for the rest of the day. Macy's is kind of moving here, and I know you guys are with the 420. Yeah, 420, 40. It's 40-20, not 420. 40-20 on the ES. And that GNS, the other small cap, so I was on the bid in front of quarters, took about a 5-cent hit there. It just absolutely flashed right through those orders. Just chewed everybody up and spit them out. It's bouncing again, but this is why I don't chase a move like that, because I always have the bigger picture in mind. Like when a stock does this, I'm not really thinking chase the move. It would have to break out from here and then go long off that level. Otherwise, I just kind of want it long off that little dip buy support, which if you had that now, that's not too bad. So let's see if we can't find somewhere to buy these dips more aggressively. I'm waiting for Roblox 39s. I'm going to be on the bit of Meta. I just realized I talked about it and didn't get my order out. So let's get some out there on Meta to buy in front of 139. And if we get the dips, let's play the dip into the rip, because apparently we have room to 40-20.
Well, so what is the ES at right now? Oh, wow.
It's a long way.
Nowhere even near.
We're a long way to that.
Right now. Let's check on an oil quickly here.
handles.
Oil up 1.54%, up to 81 change right now. So just checking in on that market. As we said, I know there's a lot of different markets out there that people are looking at, but we tend to ignore energy on this show for sure, I feel like. And that's not necessarily a good thing. You know, you want to be able to cover everything, but we can't do everything on the show. I'll pretty much trade big cap tech names. You guys can see that all the time. But we'll also go over names that we think have plays in them, right? Like Macy's here today, we played it off the JWN, and now it's just not really doing anything. We did have that short. We talked about where we got out, and then eventually it broke the top, and then that was gonzo on that one. So yeah, not much happening. Prad sent me a message here. Shout out to Prad as well. That Tory Lanez, Brampton, right? Tory Lanez, he did that. He sold his new album as an NFT. So he sold 1 million copies for $1, put $1 million in his pocket, and then that was tradable after that. So you could trade the album around. And you know, it's like imagine Michael Jackson did that or something with Thriller, right? And you were able to have like one of the limited edition Thriller albums or something. Not to say that, you know, rest in peace MJ and things like that, but you know, that makes sense to me to do stuff like that. So that's a pretty interesting thing for crypto and for blockchain for sure, as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, all right, early look on the imbalances. We're going to get those from Brendan in just a couple seconds here. It's 540 million to sell. So unfortunately, guys, I see you guys asking for it on the chat. I don't know if you, I mean, again, let us know if we're here. We share everything with you guys that we have. So this is the imbalance locator, but you can see right here, all the timing is 9:30. So that's the last time they were updated. Unless there's a halt or anything like that, it basically updates on NASDAQ open. So we don't have any more information other than this. So at 3:50, this will get updated. I believe there was some talk in our on the chat here that I think it was, what was it, TD Ameritrade or someone actually had pre-looks and stuff like that. So if you have a pre-look or anything, let us know. I mean, that Financial Juice is where Brendan gets it from. You can follow them on Twitter. They post it up where they're getting their numbers from. But, you know, this is from the morning. Hellbiz was a buyer. Remember we talked about this, how everything, oh my God, this is just reminding me. We talked about it earlier. Remember in the morning, and I could actually go back and review this, and I think we probably should. Remember in the morning when everything on here came bids? Remember it was Amazon bid, it was Microsoft bid, it was Apple bid, it was, I don't think we could find Netflix, but they were, NVIDIA, they were all on there, man. And then all of a sudden, NASDAQ up huge. So yeah, maybe something... NASDAQ. Yeah, maybe something about that there, guys. So yeah, we'll look into that. That just a little theory there that we had. Remember I said like, oh, everything's a bid. Watch out now. And yeah, looks like watch out now is right. The market really rallying. All right, it's small cap recap, I believe, over there with Brendan at the big screen.
Watch out now.
Watch out now.
Hey guys, 30 minutes to go. We'll wrap up the week here with a look at small caps. Busy day once again. It's been quite the week for all of the Russell. SLRX was one we were discussing a little bit yesterday, late in the day, if you remember. This thing ran up with a bunch of other low float, highly shorted type names. This morning, a little tricky this morning, depending on where you had your stops placed. But you had to be patient. Ends up giving you a nice fade. Back to 320 is where I got away from this thing, but that didn't age too well because we went all the way down to 280. So what was that, 420 on the short, and then we end up at 280 at the end of the day. For SLRX, GNS, same thing. I really like the long on this morning on the pullback to 4. That ends up getting broken, and then we get a little bounce before the short ends up being pretty good back to 3. So $1 on the short there for GNS. I was initially watching this one as well. Bit of a halt fest early on this morning. All kinds of halts on the way up, as the guys in the midday were talking about, right through to 220. Finally threw in the towel for LYT. I'm going to watch this one on Monday for sure. 180, 192 even for LYT on Monday.
Yeah, some of those plays, when they come down, you got to watch out for them. That LYT was another example. I got to give a shout out because someone in the chat was like they just made their day short Macy's. I didn't. So yeah, congratulations to you. But we talked about this, like sort of wait for the actual prices. It's starting to roll over. So like 23 short ended up being the right level, but you have to actually short at 23. I just got some out at 80s, and it's finally starting to roll over a little bit, but I'll take 80s and I'll take 70s. I'm not sure there's going to be a gigantic home run, but I started this thing shorting 23s at like 22.65. That's the first entry point. Like, that's ridiculous. If you short it at 23, it's fantastic. You can maybe even hold it a little bit against you, give it a 10 stop, but it's a testament to being patient. We talk about it all the time, but you got to practice what you preach. You have to stick to your own playbook. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in trouble. I know you guys were just talking about the sell imbalance there, 500 to sell. Yeah, what's interesting about that is, like, imagine, maybe this is exactly what you said. I don't know if this is true, Shawn. But imagine it goes from like sell to a buy with the market up this 2.5%. Like, you get one of those big rallies if this flips on us. So I'm not against still buying some of these dips here. Like, I'm still on the bit of meta, looking for that 139. I'll take that 139 if I can get it. I'm still, forget about Roblox. I'm not going to get that at all. Roblox is still going up. So, yeah, you know what? Forget about the Roblox 35. At this point, if Roblox comes back to 35, I probably don't want it. Let's just see how far it can go here. I don't even want to get an offer. I was about to just get out there at like 35.50 and realize how strong it is. I'm going to give Roblox some room. This is much stronger than some of the other names I'm looking at. We just pull back in the futures a bit, and Roblox is off those highs. Let's just see how far this one can ride. Maybe even slap a trailing stop on it closer to the imbalances coming out. Maybe they're a sell, but I'm kind of hoping it flips into a buy and look for just a few kernels of dip buys in here, hopefully starting with Meta at 139.
Yeah, buddy. Look, some of these names are really far off now, man. I mean, we got out of our AMD. It started to go back upside a little bit there for AMD. So yeah, we got out at 75, just touched out 88s there. I feel like you're just, and like we got out of AMD, but we waited for for Apple. So yeah, it's just, I feel like just a little bit of back and forth right now in this market. It's going to be pretty hard to figure out where to go. I think at this point, I just think it's best right now to wait. HKD woke up. Okay.
Oh, no way.
Let's go over and look. It's a New York name. I knew that, and I still typed in NASDAQ.
Dump it.
Dump it. Let's see if it did wake up or not. Sometimes we get kind of punked here on the show, so let's wait to see if
it
that
did.
If that did it. Yeah. Sorry. Go to Neil's level. My thing's not even loaded.
Yeah, I have it up here. Oh, that's
I
my
didn't
15
double
minute.
hit it. That's my bad.
But yeah, it did wake up. Went 11 to 11.50. But for this stock, I almost want to say that that's a big move. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with a 5% move. You got to love a 5% move if you can get it. But relatively speaking to what it usually does, that's not a heck of a lot. So if I go back, I'll just go back on the 3 and see how far this one takes me. Yeah, 11.50. But let's remember where this was just yesterday. This was failing up at like 12.50, and then you have like $12 where there was some consolidation. If anything, if I've paid for shorts already, which I don't think I have, I'd be looking to maybe fade this somewhere around the $12 level, because either you have it here, maybe at 11.20. I'm not chasing HKD on Friday up 5% when the last couple of days look like this. It's a fade if it gets to 12, although I'm not paying for locates on HKD to fight the trend at 337. If it was 3 o'clock, maybe I'd go pay for the locates. I know they're going to be probably like 20 cents or 30 cents a share, and that's if I use them or not.
That's the problem. Yeah. So at this point of the day, we actually had, that's a funny story. We talked about Arun a little bit there, and he was on the show when you had that jury duty in there. I forget the stock. I think it might have been Carvana or something, and it was like so little to pay for short, but a man of his principle.
But that's not. I don't know, man.
No, but we've talked
There's
about
principles, and then it's like he will like.
You have to like that. So I don't like that style. Like for me,
Okay,
I
but
mean, I
like-
just see the nets.
But
Yeah.
imagine GameStop. So like GameStop back in the day when those were like the most ridiculous moves ever and the opportunities are abound.
Then
And if you
that's-
told me GameStop to pay for locates was gonna just to have it in your back
You
pocket
needed to pay.
was gonna be 1 cent a share. Like you
wow.
wouldn't pay for. Of course,
I mean, you
paid
pay for almost
it.
$1 a share.
Of course
That thing
he'd
was
pay
moving
for it.
$50, but
Cost was better though. I found shorting cost was much better than shorting GameStop because
go over to Bed Bath
you
&
just
Beyond.
wait for GameStop to come down and then you would short costs, and that was
there were
pretty
so
much-
many games, and we talked about that a little bit. Like when you ever see like, oh, HKD is going, well, then probably so is COSM, so are like these other names, and it just finds like they get to go together. But there goes HKD or the upside. Yeah, great call on that one. Some people talked also a little bit today about Bed Bath & Beyond. They started going off of. Did it get up to $4 today? Hold on a second. Let me just zoom this. What just happened there? Why can't I zoom this back out? Okay, I'll have to go like that, I guess.
SI?
Yeah, we
I'm
did.
not
Okay,
sure.
yeah. So we did have that move up early, not quite to $4, $3.75 or so. But right now, Bed Bath & Beyond, yeah, darn it, still downside. It was BlackBerry and names like that all of a sudden, like one would start to go and the next one would go and the next one would go. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, all these names are going at once. What to do? AMC was such a great fun trade, Ben, back in the day. The best one for me, and there's a video on it, and it stars actually Bradley Beal as well, when it was DWAC, and we were going crazy on the DWAC trades. That was a hell of a lot of fun. But there's Bed Bath & Beyond, 340, 350 is where we're just bounced off of, but coming into support right now at 335. I know I hate talking about it because it's down so much, and I know net, a lot of people are probably long this name, but let's not forget the news, man. I mean, it still is a bankrupt, I'm not completely clear on the news, but you know they are going to be declaring bankruptcy as far as we know any minute now.
Oh, they have a payment on the. I think it's February 1st. If they skip that payment,
22,000,
yeah, if they skip a payment on the 21st, but then on the 1st, but then the way it works is like you actually have like a month before you're delinquent on whatever bond payment it would be, and then so it could take a while to play out, but they're likely going bankrupt. I canceled my Silvergate because I hate you, Silvergate.
Bitcoin's going
Of course,
nuts.
you turn it 1390 and not at 14 where I wanted it. Bitcoin broke 22, and I'm like, I'm getting short Silvergate. But then it's not at the highs. Coinbase is probably, I'm going to assume Coinbase is going to make that run through 55 now. But really, this is going to be more interesting on the load. On like Mara, which is breaking 8, and then Riot. Riot up here, these are at the high of the day and churning. A little bit more volume. You guys can't really see the volume. Trust me, there's a lot more volume to the Riots and the Maras on those breaks. Trust me, bro. Or I could just move this up. And show you that there's a little bit more volume to the Maras and the Riots of the world up here. I still want to fade Silvergate, but that's how weak it is. Bitcoin breaks out, Silvergate is off the highs significantly. Everything else is trying to go with it. So I missed a short by like 3 or 4 cents, but at least I know where I'm going. Every single time there's a pop in crypto, I know exactly which stock I want to short.
When moon? I don't know. Good question there. When moon? Yeah, you don't want to be trading for moon. You know, you're supposed to be into something when moon happens. There, I see some people on the chat. That's funny. All right, so there's Bitcoin right now. This is GBTC. If you did want to trade something that is a pure Bitcoin play, shouldn't be really affected by too much else. I don't know if you guys have it, but there it is right there. We're now back over 22K. Here's the Bitcoin. I'm going to put it down. I have the daily chart up right now. Let's go to the 1 minute and zoom it over here. So there it is. Wow, nice move. Yeah, for sure, for GBTC, straight to the upside, man. Yeah, there's 22. So this is the thing. Remember I said like how dangerous we're going to be if we can trade Bitcoin? Like that's a key level there, break, and then it just goes up $400. So I mean, or sorry, 2,000. It's at 20. So it just broke 22,000. What is that top there? 22,250. So yeah, $250. Sorry, it didn't go to 22. I thought it went to 22.4, but it went to 22243 right there. As we got to get our eyes a little bit checked there. So a nice little move there for Bitcoin. Obviously, making those high plays. Good on anybody that has that break. And there it goes to the upside. All I had to do was talk about possibly going short on Bitcoin. But remember what I said. It's got to break 20,000. This is a nice move to the upside. I don't know if you guys want to be selling, but remember, we did talk about it too. China does control a big percentage of Bitcoin trading, and it was Happy Lunar New Year, I guess.
Yes.
Was it today or it's this weekend?
I think it's.
But anyways, maybe
today.
I don't know. Maybe that's an early New Year's present to all those that are holding Bitcoin. As there it goes, rate upside, man. That's up not 70%. It's up from 16 2 weeks ago to 22.
I still think we retest.
So that's
20,000.
6 on 16. So yeah, you're up like 40% in
Great move.
just a couple weeks.
Well, Silvergate isn't, but And that's sort of the thing. Like,
We
you're
said
just,
that. Don't trust the
you're just-
exchanges, man.
So the thing to remember is, like, those exchanges,
Next week.
they were really, really good on the way up because you were getting outsized gains on the way up because everyone was already in most of the coins. But that's, like, that changed in a big way. I did get the dip buy in Meta, so that came back in. You'll see now I have 2 longs again. So we got Roblox, we got Meta, but I want to see, why is that offer there? That's off by like 10 cents. Let me just move that up a little bit. I want it breaking this channel, then getting a scalp out, then hold it. I don't think we necessarily get past 140 unless something crazy happens in the future, so I want to play this inside the range. I'm not letting it past 139. Yeah, it's a tight stop, but it's still indicating a sell imbalance off the highs of the day. So if I'm seeing a sell imbalance off the high of the day, I do want to have a tight stop on reloading the longs. I'm not even bidding anymore on Roblox there. So being a little bit cautious with that one. Sorry, no, not bidding 35 to get more shares of Roblox. I did just get out of Macy's, so the irony being is that now Macy's rolls over. Macy's.
Well,
so
it was going to happen at some point. I mean, how long?
just-
Can you really hold our 930 positions until 350? I don't know. I guess
It's
you could.
still not back to my first entry point. That's how bad my first entry was on Macy's. Like, it's rolling over now, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's actually flat on the day, believe it or not. So relative strength off that bad news. Sometimes you just accept the fact that the retailers want to squeeze when everybody likes to short. That's been happening so many times. Like, look at, I almost said bloody Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's is the reason for all of this. But their short interest ruled the day, and it's actually holding high. So, good for anybody that went long them. It was certainly not me. But we're going to hang on, see what happens with this Meta, Roblox. I know Tesla was looking for the dip buy. Whatever happened to Tesla? Nope. Yeah, we're not getting that. Tesla, high of the day. So congratulations. If you bought the shallowest of dips on Tesla, welcome to the high of the day, 133. I think we have a decent chance that maybe this is going to go to the buy side. I don't know. It keeps on saying short, but I'm not that convinced that we're actually going to get a sell imbalance yet.
Tesla.
Oh yeah, I said Tesla, didn't I?
Right there.
That's my bad. I should pronounce it correctly. I meant Tesla.
We
is
don't
at
know.
the high
I'm
of the
not
day.
making I know
Tesla is at the high.
I know the professor says that, but I don't necessarily think. I don't know what.
He reads a dictionary.
I think it's
every
right. I
single
think
day,
it is
so-
Tesla. I think it's with a Z.
He says he doesn't do that whole word of the day thing, but you guys pay attention to
I have a new segment.
Pay attention to the midday show. He has a new school word
Right.
that he brings in every single day.
New
and now
assi-
he pretends he's not doing it on purpose, but there's always something new with you, Sharif. Just admit to it. There's nothing wrong with admitting
Come on,
it.
Professor.
I mean,
put on Professor's screen right here, Pratt. I need people to think that we're not talking to ourselves right here.
Oh, yeah, he's
Professor sitting. What's up, Professor? Holy shit, that's a close view. What the hell? Well, I've always said that we got to fix those cameras, man. I don't know what's going on.
they're so much closer
with
than
those.
our.
They're so much closer.
Like
than
our-
ours. That's because they're more handsome on that. Like, what? Is that not zoomed in? Like. Yeah. The professor's always up
You
to
gotta
something.
relax and get, be comfortable.
No, I think that should be a new segment. I'm being dead serious. The professor's word of the day. That should
Yeah,
be
it's word of the
happening
day.
every single time
No
at
pressure.
like 1:30. There's not pressure. You just open up a book. You figure it out. Dictionary, thesaurus, whatever you want.
You
You can
read
do
one anyways, dude.
Analogy
you know you
of
do.
the day, whatever you
He knows
want,
he
something
does.
like that. Don't you guys see that's a good idea? Like, come on, man. I mean, this is what we're talking about right now. I think that'd be hilarious. Yep, Professor Sharif. That's exactly right. I gave him that nickname because of some of those things that we talked about.
Well, wasn't it more? There was the one look he had with the glasses. At the
Yes,
desk that
that's
one day.
why.
That
But then
was-
it all related to each other there.
Yeah.
He did have the professor-like glasses on one day, so shout out to the professor right beside us right now. Okay, just a couple quick talks here before we go. I don't want to get caught up. I think there's going to be monster imbalances today, and the reason why it's a Friday, it's options eligible day. Once again here, it's not the third Friday of the month, is it? Today's the 21st. Today's the 20th.
20th. It is the
yeah,
third
okay, so it
Friday.
is the third Friday. So that's exciting as well. You get third Fridays, you
nice.
get monthly options, you get weekly, dailies, all that. And after big, huge moves in the market, wouldn't surprise me if we do have quite the move here into the close. It is a sell imbalance temporarily right now. It's 540 to sell. Brendan just updated that with us. Thank you so much for that, Brendo. But my out's going to be Apple. I have Apple. My out's going to be Alibaba right here if it takes this out. So if we take out the 200 period of 60, we're going to get. I'm giving it to 70 though, that top, but I am watching out for that. I just don't need Alibaba to come out a huge buy and then boom to the upside. So we have that order in. And the other one is I have an Apple sell order in, but it's not for a hell of a lot lower. It was actually down here. But you know, we may just get out of Apple if it does tick below this 137.25 or so. So yeah, we're pretty much you know, now ramped up to where we want to go.
Well, not that we're going up, but
yeah, there it goes. I mean, that's what the Apple chart looks like anyways. So just a couple stops just to tell you guys right now. 137.27 in case this comes out nasty for us. Let's get out and bank a buck on it. Then the other one, we just gave you our Alibaba, but only 2 minutes now until the imbalances.
yeah, trust me, bro. It's only 2 minutes till the imbalances, and I did just get Meta. It kind of came up into that 130 range, so I will just scalp some out. It's so tight to the imbalances. I was looking for like 10 cents more, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave my stop at 130. Sorry, 139. If it holds 139, great. If Roblox, I'll probably put a trail at like the 40 level for that. And Alibaba, I just realized, is kind of in no man's land here. So it's bouncing off VWAP. I don't know that it's going to make a gigantic move. So I'm obviously not going to take any more shares of 120. We're not going to see 120. And I'm not giving it all the way back into 119.75. So I'm going to slap like a 60 on it and just see how far it can go to the downside. I always want to do this at this time of day here. I'm going to have a I'm going to have a look at the futures maybe, because if it goes from like a 500 sell to like a billion or a couple of billion to buy, I might want to try along, and not necessarily because Arun's like we got ruined to 420, 40-20, but just because it's been such a strong day that if it flips to a buy, I think there might be some good, nice jailbreak longs into the close.
Jailbreakers. All right, here we go, man. Only a few more seconds left, and then we're getting ready to rock and roll. Here we go. You know, people said we should do some funny stuff on the show. I mean, it was basically 7 days ago today, right now, we put the stupidest things in our mouth with that chip.
Yeah, that was stupid,
yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching that. So we are trying to do some stuff like that. If anybody has any more ideas, please do not pass them along before Neil agrees to do it again. But that was a lot of fun.
Next time I'll just Google it.
Yeah, next time, that's what I'm saying. Like before Neil agrees to do it. All right, here we go. With only 8 seconds left, we are going to see the imbalances. Thank you so much, John. We did have a lot of fun with that. Here we go. Let's see what's going to happen. We do have our targets on it. Looks like it's a sell side. The move looks to be down right now. The NASDAQ's printing a little bit lower. We have BAC. Actually, don't even see any NASDAQ names on here. What happened to my now? There it is. Now it just updated. Ooh, Apple. Ooh,
that was late.
Apple, the big sell right there. So Apple actually didn't go down. So we'll wait to see. It did go down almost to our level and get us out. Remember, our level's 25. A 25 break, we're out on that one. There's Apple. What else do we see? Wow, lots in the millions. The number that Brandon's going to give us.
It's going to be $1 billion to sell.
It's only $1 billion to sell. Yesterday it was $4 billion. So
well, I just got
a little bit of a differing number there. Yeah. All right. You got out.
I got trailed of Roblox.
All right.
Obviously, because look what just happened to Roblox, right? Like I just got trailed out of Roblox. I got out of Alibaba, which is weird because that means Alibaba went up. Go figure. So trailed out of that Alibaba 120 short. I still have Meta for some reason though. Like Meta. Oh, because I had Meta. Oh no, Meta didn't come back down at all. I didn't see Meta on there, but everything came as a sell. So Meta for some reason is the only one that's holding on, and the market just bounced off of that little shakeout that it had. Because this is what's happening when I look at my 15-minute on the NASDAQ. It went down for a split second, and now it's coming back up. Now, I wanted the long if it flipped to a buy. This is not flipping to a buy. It's $1.1 billion to sell. But if it was a buy, I'd probably be looking for a jailbreak long. But I'm not going to do that into a sell imbalance here. Not to say that it can't go up. I'll just hang on to Meta, see what happens. It's been a fun day. I would love to see us run to 3%. But not into a sell imbalance. I kind of think we could have some trouble running through that high of the day, especially when I look at, just going to do this for you guys, Apple off of the highs. I showed you guys Meta, which was off of the highs there, and a couple of the other big names I was looking at just kind of resisting these tops. So even if we don't punch through, 3% is a great day, but a day of less than 1,000 likes makes Neil sad. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Put a smile back on my face. We had this on the bull on a red day yesterday, just so you guys know. I ate Vegemite. No, just Vegemite's actually not that bad. I shouldn't even say that.
No, Vegemite's good, apparently.
It's got all the vitamins and minerals that I
Yep.
don't even know if it does.
No, well, they say it does. It has all the B's.
Yeah,
apparently.
it does actually have
Be
all
this,
the
be
vitamins.
that, everything. Russell Jackson swears
Yeah, it
by
tastes
it.
like
Shout out
crap.
to our great viewers out there. You guys know who you are. Shout out to Russell Jackson.
Oh, by the way, like so, if
We just got out of
we
Alibaba.
usually say 1.5 to do like a wrap, but last week somebody wanted me to. We got a super chat last week, and they wanted a very specific Bobby Brown from Ghostbusters. So I owe that because I said I'd do it, and I said I cannot do it while we're
Right.
doing the hot chip.
No, you
I'll give it
cannot.
to you next week. So it's a short one, but I'll do that one for you guys because we're only at like 1,000 likes anyways. 4,600 watching. We should have done a poll today to see if we got to 3%.
I know
but
you're a man of your word, man, but I don't know, man. We got to get these guys to hit some like
know.
buttons here, man. I mean, that's.
I know. I'm sure we can get there.
Yeah, we can get there for sure. Look at the market just rip
It's
city
like,
right now.
of course
we
it
actually
gets us
got
out of the wall.
Yeah, we got out of our
That's
Alibaba as we said we would. So
not
pretty
fair.
happy with getting out of that one for sure. As you can see, the market's starting to rip upside. There's Alibaba out, and then there is Apple continuing. Yeah, buddy. Good day for me today for sure. As we're going to finish the day. If you can't tell, at our highest spot, obviously, as we just put on winners for you. We put on AMD, we put on Apple. I mean, look at AMD. We bought this one at 69.30. If you're still in this, feel free to trade it as you wish, but I am out, and it was a really good trade today for me on AMD, one in, one out there. With only a few minutes left, here's the imbalances still. And then we do also have Apple ticking it out to the high side right there. I don't know, can we get to 138? If we can, I'm here for that.
We got a
So,
poll, baby.
What is it?
Are you entertained? And there's only one option. So
I'm
I
going
will
to go
vote.
with the second capital letter.
What?
There, because there's yes we are, and then yes we are with
Yes,
a
we are.
capital. I'm using the cap.
I use the first one
I'm using the
because
capital
no,
W.
because why would you capitalize two things? I clicked the one that's grammatically correct because
Right, because we're all about grammar around
I'm
here.
anal like that apparently.
Right,
I didn't
right.
I didn't even notice that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I picked the second one.
It doesn't matter what you
It doesn't matter because either way, it's the same damn answer. So hopefully you guys like it. But I mean, what you could really do to show that is just by hitting the like button, which we keep talking about over and over again, or the subscribe or the subscribe.
Oh, you
button.
can't do the poll if you're not a subscriber because the chat's subscribe only. So if you're listening
That's
to
right.
us, you're like, what is this poll you're talking about? Or what's all these questions that you're answering of people in the chat? Like, look at this stock or that stock. It's because it's in the chat, which is subscriber only. So just take a second. I mean, subscribe. You get the notifications. That's good anyways.
well.
And then you can participate. We try to answer as many questions as we can, but hey, we can't get
Bang.
that.
We out. Done. That's that. Now we're done. Now we can sit back and think about which bottle of wine we're going to pick up on the way home. There it is, man. There's Apple. I mean, that was 136.30 right there. Out 137.63. That's $1.40. So we'll put that. That's it. We're out of Alibaba. We're out of Apple. Just double check. You always want to make sure you don't have any. My stop order was still in because
I
it
still
didn't
have
hit. And so yeah, man. Good day so far. This is going to be one of my top days of the week as we go. Like I said, man, I do love, and I gave Sharif and Luke a little bit of grief there. I do love the weekend. I just wish the market was open and that we could trade the weekend. So we'll be back on Monday, of course. No holiday. It was a good short week for sure this
It felt
week.
like a full week.
It did. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a good week. Lots of stuff happening. I mean, you know, get lots of rest.
Wow.
I mean, because next week is going to be exciting, man. A lot of big earnings coming. It just started today with
Let's go
Netflix.
Eve.
I think it's maybe not even next week, but the week after. One of them is that when my favorite week of the year. Well, there's 4 of them every time it reports in the quarter. But yeah, Bitcoin, I see you on
Look at
that
this.
one as well.
Why is this not going full screen?
It's Rip
Come
City.
on, Binance chart.
Come on, Binance chart.
Come on. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I just pulled this up there to full screen it, and then now it's like low. This is a problem with live. Bitcoin's ripping. Just trust me, bro. It's ripping. As this chart doesn't want to help you.
I have it live
You got
here.
it live. It's like, I don't know.
It's not so much ripping. I mean, it's okay. It just did touch that.
It was just working.
Yeah,
that
I mean, it
chart.
touched
Like,
that 400
now
level
it's
that I
working.
sort of
Like,
talked about. So yeah,
seriously?
I should actually say yes. It is actually ripping.
It's ripping, baby. It's congratulations because that's been a great opportunity for anybody out there. And look, we can kick ourselves for not being long like Coinbase and Mara, but it's a good day today, so there were plenty of opportunities to be long lots. I just got out of Meta. I'm not going to put any more positions on. It didn't really want to break. It just got up to like 50. I'm like, let's tighten up the trail. I was going to try to see it go more, but the NASDAQ took out the high, and like I was saying, a lot of the big cap names couldn't seem to get there, Meta being one of them, although Apple's at the high of the day, so that's going to make a big kind of churn. Do we get to 4,000 is the real question. And yes, today, Darwin, was a good day because it's January 20th. Lakers beat the Sonics.
Yes, yes. It's just a good day overall today. And yeah, that's, of course, a reference from Friday. So, yeah, you guys, man, it's going to be, once again, a good close. We're watching these imbalances. They're trying to pair off a little bit right now. I mean, look at Google. We just talked about that one. Is it going to get to $100? Yes, it is. Just give us some time right now. A huge move up for Google today. We had this long, if you're just joining us for the first time, on the sticky note this morning. The problem is my best out is 97.40 right there. And as you can see, we left a little bit on the table, but not much, not much. We actually got a really good move up here. 95 long, 95.50 long, 96 long. 3 punches to the long side there for Google. And yeah, definitely my #1 stock there today. But it had competition, man. Apple was right there. Google's still my #1 long. I'll put on the most shares that I trade at the beginning of the day, not here into the close, but still really well traded Google today. So happy with that performance. And we're getting ready to ring the bell. Like I said, I still got some more stuff to do after the market. So it's going to be a good day. You know, have a great weekend, everybody, man. And I hope that you're either closing out some of your trades right now. It's only 2 minutes until the bell. The imbalances aren't really going to have too much effect, although BAC has kind of stayed a sell this whole time.
The only one.
So let's just see what's happened. Oh, God darn. We have that bad wick there. Look, see, BAC stayed a sell. Look at this. This is 350 when the imbalance came out. So sometimes, see, that's an S, sell, not for Shawn. That's an S, so you can see, boom. Although it came out as sell, it just went to the north side. So sometimes you got to watch out for what these mean there and what the relationship is. Because look, it's only 4 million shares, 5 million shares if you add that up. It's 33 million on the day. So it can handle one last print to 5 million. So with only a minute and a half left, man. Wow, good day. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. My quote board is just lit green right now as the NASDAQ is up 2.7%. Just booming today. Disney 5%, Nvidia 6.5%.
It's
Roku,
what's red.
6%.
That's
Yeah,
like everything is green. Like for mine, it's like what's red today. Bed Bath & Beyond, UVXY, which obviously is going to be inverse, so that's a good thing. Natural gas, because they're getting crushed. Yep. Goldman Sachs, we know we had the bad news. Why is GM down? I'm not sure. Macy's, I mean, it gapped down big. Boeing, but really, like everything is to the upside. I'm trying to figure out why GM's having a bad day. That kind of sucks. Come on, GM, figure it out. Mara, by the way, remember that 8 break? It's kind of still going up 10%. So shout out and congratulations to everybody that was riding the Mara and Riot trains. Big moves to the upside. Even Coin, well, I mean, Coin got to 55 today, 11% to the upside. I do think there's a hell of short coming on this stock at some point. But it did already.
Need a bell ringer.
It did one at 57.
Brad.
We got about 20 seconds to go. So let's see who's going to ring the bell. I know
it's always the same dude here now.
We got to switch it up.
I got to speak to Katrina.
We got to switch it up. But the
she's
countdown is on to end the week. We got 10 seconds. Fahad in the all black. That's how he rolls. He's limping to the bell in 3, 2, and 1. Why are you limping, dude? Why are you limping? Oh, he did leg day. Oh yeah, Prad. These guys did leg day. That's why he's limping like a 80-year-old man. Yeah. So, all right, guys, thank you so much again. Big day here to wrap it up. I mean, the ES is a monster, the NASDAQ's a monster, oil's a monster, Bitcoin's a monster. All that is really big. Let's go over to Brendan and see if anything was red today, Brendo.
Just double checking the S&P as well. We'll get to the board here in a sec, guys. But I wanted to mention if we did get no, we didn't. So the Dow and the S&P not positive. The NASDAQ gets positive, though, on the week. Helped by that. Yeah, 2.85 move to the upside today. But 0.87 and 1.8, not enough to get the S&P green on the week, but still a nice day heading into the weekend. Yeah, these are still going off right now. 6.4 and 6.2 for Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Brazil always has to be like that.
Shady, man.
You know, great soccer team, great a lot of other things, but apparently not a great market right now. As
they got
Brazil.
upset in the World Cup.
Google slashes most of their jobs at the incubator area.
I don't know what that means.
Area 120.
So I'm going to do it quick for you guys because we didn't get to 1.5, but I promised somebody last week. So I'm a man of my word, even though I'm a little disappointed that we don't get the 1.5 likes. If you know it, fine, fair enough. I'm a nerd and I love this one. Shout out to Bobby Brown. Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. They are the Ghostbusters and they're in control. Had them throwing a party for a bunch of kids. And if you get into trouble, don't average in. Just call the Ghostbusters and you'll be fine.
Nice. I like that. I like that little bring it back to the trading there.
It's too short, so I had to add something at the end.
That was okay. That was good, though. That was a pretty clean, good one there, Neil.
I
Thank
love
you so
the
much for that.
Ghostbusters, by the way.
I like how you got the ish in there. That was a good one as well.
I don't even think they cursed in it, but I didn't know what that line was, so I just kind of made
I
it.
mean, if it was Ghostbusters, yeah, probably not.
I don't think
Ron
they
saying
cursed.
frozen.
Good one. Oh, no. Did we just freeze? No, we did not freeze. Did we freeze? Are we frozen?
Bet
People are
not
saying,
frozen.
People are saying we're frozen.
Yeah,
No, we're not frozen. Okay, good. All right, thank you so much for the day here. As I want to thank
Nobody
Bears
saw
vs.
that.
Bulls, man, moderation, big time
Nobody
again.
saw the wrap.
Thank you so much for everything that you're doing for us, keeping our chat really clean.
my
We
internet's
definitely
down.
appreciate that for sure. Froze during the wrap, apparently. See, that's the thing. Brad is just randomly freezing stuff. Like,
Wow.
he doesn't want that. He wants his bars. Brad, I told you, man, bring
Drop
that
the beat.
Bring that beat
Drop
instead
the
of
beat
freezing the
next time.
stream. Now, we apologize for that. We thought we got it all fixed out. Our IT team will look at that. I think we're back now. So, yeah, happy weekend, everybody. Good wrap there. Watch out for your crypto positions. They're absolutely booming.
It's going to be a big
now.
weekend, man.
Be a big one. Brendan, who you like in the football games?
What's that?
Right, exactly. Do you say what's that or what time? Yeah, you didn't know.
Both.
Okay. Both. If it's not F1 or golf or something like that, Brennan is like.
So who do you think is going to upset?
So I don't think Jacksonville's going to upset, but I told you about that. I really think that's an exciting game. I do think that the Giants and Philly, I really want to see what Philly has. A lot of people have been sort of questioning them. We saw people question Minnesota, and they lost.
I think the Giants have the best chance at an upset. That's
right. If
somebody upsets, I think it's the Giants. I think the Giants.
Plus,
versus
you have
Philly.
the divisional rivalry. We talked about that, the NFC least to the NFC East, and now they're powerhouses, man. 3 of the 4 teams are still in it, which is amazing. So either way, good luck to the Buffalo Bills. I think that's going to be the best game. That might be the best
That's going to be the best game.
because that's that whole game that should have happened, but we had that heart attack or the issue there with Hamlin. And now we have it ready to rock and roll. It's going to be Bengals-Bills. Can't believe that's going to be a great game. I think the weather's going to be good too there in Buffalo, so that should be no effect. But yeah, I think I want to watch out for Trevor Lawrence, see what he's all about. I really like that kid. But okay, thank you for watching, man. It's 4:04. We got stuff to do, and so do you. So thank you for watching. And by the way, we hit 375,000 subscribers today. So that one is awesome. So thank you so much for everybody for supporting the show as we continue to go. Join us at 8:30 on Monday. Everybody, please have a great and safe weekend, and we'll catch you back here at this desk and wherever you are Monday at 8:30. Ciao.